A service of KIVMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Friends, every Lucky you light gives you a smoother, milder, more enjoyable smoke. There's never a rough puff in a Lucky because LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, ripe, light, naturally mild leaf that always gives you a more deeply enjoyable smoke, puff after puff, with never a rough puff. Now, fine tobacco like this costs more, and Lucky's pay more, millions of dollars more than official parity prices, to get fine tobacco that guarantees more real, deep-down smoking enjoyment for you.
Remember, too, the men who really know tobacco, the independent tobacco experts, choose Lucky Strike for their own personal smoking enjoyment. In fact, a recent survey reveals that more auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
So, friends, for your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, smoke the smoke tobacco expert smoked Lucky Strike. Yes, light up a Lucky and enjoy a milder, smoother smoke with never a rough puff. You'll agree, in all the world, there's no finer cigarette than Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go out to Beverly Hills and look in the windows of Jack Benny's house, you will see a very pretty Christmas tree, a picture of peace and serenity. But if you could have been there yesterday, well, why not?
Well, we're almost through trimming the tree, Mary. It was nice of you to come over and help me.
Well, if I didn't, you'd never get it done. Say, Jack, shall I put the snow around the bottom now?
Not yet. I want to see if the lights are working. I'll hold up the bulbs. When I say ready, you plug it in.
Okay. Ready?
Ready. Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it out! My goodness.
Oh, Jack, why'd you make me shut it off? Those lights were so pretty, especially those two blue ones that kept flashing on and off.
Those were my eyes. I must have been holding on to a bare wire.
Well, it's your own fault. Every time you fool around with electricity, something goes wrong.
It does not. I know plenty about electricity.
Oh, sure. Remember what happened yesterday when you fixed your doorbell?
What happened?
I pushed the button, roasted a pig in Encino.
Oh, stop exaggerating. Anyway, hand me that roll of tape. I'll fix this bare wire right now.
Here you are.
Thanks. Now, let's see. To insulate a bare wire, you just tape it up like this. There. That ought to be enough tape. All right, Mary, plug it in.
Okay.
Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it
out! Jack, what happened?
I taped my finger to the wire. That's what happened.
Oh, gee, and that time was even prettier than before.
What do you mean?
Your nose lit up, too.
It did not. What are you laughing at?
Benny, the red-nosed reindeer.
All right. Now, let's get this tree finished before the gang gets here.
But, Jack, what about the lights?
We'll have to let that go until later. Now, hand me one of those candy canes so I can...
Oh, Mr. Benny.
What is it, Rochester?
I baked that cake like you told me to.
Good. You have enough whipped cream to spell out Merry Christmas?
Yeah. Say, boss, how many R's in Mary?
2.
Uh-oh.
Well, you better add one.
Add one? I better cross one out. I got 3.
Well, leave it. It's better than ruining the cake.
Okay.
Rochester, will you please take these Christmas tree lights and fix them?
Fix them?
Yes.
I ain't fooling around with electricity.
Now, what are you afraid of?
I don't want to get hit by nothing I can't hit back.
Oh, Rochester, imagine being afraid of electricity. Suppose Robert Fulton was afraid. He never would have invented the electric light, would he?
Jack.
What?
You're thinking of Thomas Edison.
Edison? Well, then what did Robert Fulton do?
He wrote Mule Train.
Oh, yes. Now, Rochester, please fix these lights.
Okay. Now, let me see. In electricity, there's the electrons and the electrodes. And then there's the positive and the negative. But I ain't positive which one is negative. Then there's the atoms. Now, the atoms are supposed to go from the positive to the negative. Or maybe they go from the electrons to the electrodes. Then again, maybe they go from Amos to Andy.
Rochester.
Now, as long as these atoms keep passing each other, everything is all right. But when they meet halfway and start fighting, they're going to turn on anybody who tries to butt in.
Rochester, I'm not interested in the scientific details. I just want you to fix those lights. And I promise you, while you're holding the wires, no one in this room will turn on the switch.
I know, boss. While I'm holding the wire, you ain't going to turn on the switch. And Miss Livingston ain't going to turn on the switch.
Of course not.
But way up there at Boulder Dam, there's a little man sitting in a room with thousands of wires all around him.
So what?
How do I know he ain't going to do something just to break the monotony?
Oh, all right. I'll fix it myself. Come on, Mary. Help me finish the tree.
Okay, Jack. Hand me that candy cane, will you?
Here you are.
Da-da-dum-dum, dee-da-da-dum. I'll put the cane right next to the drum. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Let's see, where's that star? Deedle-dee-dum, deedle-dum-dee. I'll put the star on top of the tree. Santa Claus is coming to town. Gee, that looks swell, doesn't it?
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're away.
He knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake.
So you better watch out. You better not cry.
Mary, you're cute, and so am I.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Well, Mary, we got all the packages under the tree. It looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you better pick those lights up off the floor before somebody steps on them.
Oh, yes. Now, where can I put them? I'll put them here on this chair. Now, Mary, some of the gifts I had sent direct from the store, but there's Phil Harris's present. Put it under the tree. Boy, will he be surprised.
But, Jack, how'll he be surprised? You got toilet water written all over the box.
Well, you got to do that with Phil. When he opens the package and finds a bottle, he never stops to read the label. Last year, I gave him a miniature ship and a bottle, and the mask stuck out of his mouth for 3 days. Every time I asked him something, he had to answer me through the crow's nest. Believe me, I know what I'm doing.
Well, Jack, I guess that does it. The tree's all finished.
Yeah. Gee, it looks well. I'm kind of tired. I think I'll sit down for a minute and smoke a Lucky. Mary, have you got a match?
No.
Oh, say, boss.
What is it, Rochester?
Are your socks dry yet?
I think so.
Well, people will be here soon. You better take them off the tree.
Oh, that's right. You take them off, will you, Rochester? I'm tired. I want to sit here a while.
Yes, sir. Say, this tree looks awful nice, but it's kind of dark. Oh, no wonder the lights aren't plugged in. I'll fix that.
Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it out! For heaven's sake.
Well, what happened this time?
I'm sitting on the wire. Now, as long as you're here, Rochester, give me a match.
You don't need it now. Your cigarette is lit.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Rochester.
Don't thank me. Thank that little man up at Boulder Dam.
Never mind. Don't plug that in anymore. I've had enough trouble with it. Come in. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Well, deck the halls with turnip greens if that ain't a lovely Christmas tree.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jackson, you ought to see the one I've got. It's all decorated with a lot of ornaments, and I got tinsel on it and everything. And then right up on the top, I got a picture of Alice.
Alice? Phil, you're supposed to have a picture of Santa Claus.
She's Santa Claus to me, Dad.
I know.
Hey, but no kidding, Jackson. I think we got the prettiest tree in Encino.
By the way, Phil, what are you having for Christmas dinner?
A roast pig.
What?
I don't know how it happened, but when I went out to feed it this morning, it was cooked standing up.
You see, Jack? I told you.
I thought you were kidding.
So did I.
Isn't that strange?
What are you two mumbling about?
Nothing. Hey, Phil, what do you got in that package there?
Oh, I almost forgot, Jackson. It's a present for you.
For me?
Yeah. Me and the boys in the band all chipped in and got it for you.
Well, thanks, Phil. I'll put it under the tree.
No, you don't. Go ahead, open it up now.
Okay. Gee, it's certainly nice of you and the boys. Oh, Phil, thanks. Gee, a beautiful turtleneck sweater. Oh, gee.
Look inside of it, Jackson.
Inside? Oh, Phil.
What is it, Jack?
A turtle. A fine present to give me. I'll fix him. Come here, Phil. Phil, sit down on this chair and relax.
Huh?
Go ahead, Phil. Sit down.
Thanks, Jackson.
Are you comfortable, Phil?
Sure.
Good. Mary, push in the plug.
Oh, Jack. You wouldn't dare.
Hand me the plug. I'll give it to him myself.
Hey, Jackson, what about my present?
Yes, sit where you are. You'll get it. It's a surprise. Mary, watch it, Phil. 1, 2, 3. Phil, don't you feel anything?
No, why?
Well,
what about the surprise? What's the matter?
We're having a little trouble at Boulder Dam.
Mary, I can't understand what went wrong. Phil, stand up a minute.
Okay.
Now, let's see. Must be something wrong with this thing.
Pull it out!
A fine thing to do on a guy on Christmas Eve.
Well, it's your own fault for trying to play a trick on Phil.
Oh, so that's it, eh, Jackson? Trying to give me a high hot foot.
Oh, Phil, I was just trying... Pull it out! Pull it!
Jack, that's the doorbell.
Uh-oh. Come in. Oh, hello, Don.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Don.
Yeah, come on in, fellas.
Oh, you brought the sportsman with you. Merry Christmas, boys. Yeah, I'm sure glad you dropped in.
Say, Don, did you get many nice presents this year?
I sure did, Mary. And I couldn't wait. I've opened them already.
You have? What'd you get, Don?
Well, I got some gold cufflinks, a moving picture camera, a television set, a golf ball, and a diamond wristwatch.
Well.
Thanks for the golf ball, Jack.
You're welcome, Don. You do play golf, don't you?
No.
Oh. Well, you really ought to take it up, Don. It's great exercise for a fellow like you. And there's some beautiful courses around here.
That's fine. You give a guy one golf ball, and right away you want him to join a country club.
Well?
Why don't you give him a flea and tell him to go out and buy a dog?
Buy a dog. Now, look, Mary.
Well, Jack, the boys and I have to be running along.
Well, Don, can't you stay a little longer?
We'd like to, Jack, but the sportsmen have to rush over to the Ambassador Hotel. You know, they're appearing at the Coconut Grove.
Oh, yes.
Say, Jack, why don't we go over there one night this week?
Oh, we will, Mary, we will.
Jack, you should have been there last night. The boys did a novelty number for the holiday season that was really wonderful. They called it Yule Train.
Oh, you mean Mule Train?
No, Jack. Yule Train.
Oh, Yule Train. Say, that's clever. How does it go, Don?
Well, come on, boys. Let's have it.
Santa Claus is riding high. You'll pray. Hiya, daughter. Hiya, Blitzen. Hiya, boy. Hi. Clippity-clopping through the snow and rain. Santa's reindeer never stop. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clippity-clippity-clippity-clippity-clopping along. What a busy, busy day you'll have that jolly old Kris Kringle. We hope that every one of you will hear his sleigh bells jingle. And underneath your tree find some LSMFT. We mean Lucky's, Lucky's, Lucky Strike. Everybody wants a carton full of Lucky Strike because they're round and firm and fully packed like good old Santa Claus. You're happy when you puff on a Lucky, sure enough. Get along, you'll train, get along.
Hi, Donner. Get up there, Blitzen. Hi, Prancer. Hi, Dancer. Hi, boy.
Sleigh rider in the sky, yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yay. Santa Claus is riding high. Get along, you'll train, get along.
John, that was wonderful. We'll be over at the Grove the first chance we get, won't we, Mary?
We sure will.
Well, that's swell. So long now, kids. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, John.
Well, Mary, you're going to stay and have dinner with me, aren't you?
Yes, you invited me.
Good. Then after dinner, we'll open all the presents.
I'll answer the phone, boss.
Never mind, Rochester. I'll get it. It's right here. Hello?
Now, look, Joe, I haven't got much time, so listen to me. I'm phoning to warn you that my husband's wise to us, and he's on his way over to your house with a gun. So get out of town, Joe. Get out quick. Remember what happened to Charlie.
Jack, what's the matter?
I don't know. Somebody keeps getting my number by mistake. It's the second time it happened. First it was Charlie, and now she thinks I'm Joe.
Joe who?
I don't know. We'll probably read it in the paper tomorrow. Oh, Rochester, how soon will dinner be ready?
In about 10 minutes, boss.
Oh, good.
Say, Jack, it's a little chilly in here. Don't you think so?
Yeah, maybe I ought to put another log on the fire. There we are. Gee, this log is heavy. Oh, Rochester! Never mind. Thanks, Mary. Now, let's sit down and wait until we can... All right, you can stop showing off. Now, let's sit down. You know, Mary, sitting here in front of the fireplace, you look like the prettiest girl in the whole world. If I were a painter, I'd take the reflection of the fires dancing in your hair and paint the loveliest... There's somebody at the door.
Well, answer, Grandma Moses. You can paint my hair later.
Yeah. Coming. Yes?
Good evening, sir. I'm selling Christmas cookies to raise funds for the Girl Scouts.
Christmas cookies? Well, you see,
Oh, you're Jack Benny, aren't you?
Yes?
Well, it would be silly of you to buy any. You bake them for us.
That's right. How did you know I baked those cookies?
All the gingerbread men have blue eyes.
Well, I'll buy some anyway. I'll take a dozen. How much are they?
25 cents.
You mean you only make a penny profit? A penny on 12 cookies?
If we break any, we're dead.
Well, just be careful. By the way, what's your name, young lady?
Joan.
Oh, that's a nice name. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Mary, I just bought some cookies. I'll put them on the tree here.
Who'd you buy them from?
A girl who came to the door. Her name is Joan. Cute, too. You'd think her father would dress her a little better. Do you have a cookie, Mary?
No, it'll spoil my dinner. Oh, that reminds me. As long as I'm staying here, I better call my maid and tell her I won't be home.
Okay.
Hello? Hello, Pauline. This is Miss Livingston. Well, I won't be home for dinner, so I thought you'd like to know you could have... Pauline, are you still crying? Pauline, you got to get a grip on yourself. You've been carrying on like this all week. Now, look. He's married, on his way to Honolulu, and there's nothing you can do about it. Goodbye.
What's wrong, Mary?
Oh, that maid of mine. Just because Clark Gable got married, she's been crying for 5 days.
5 days? That's ridiculous.
Certainly, I got over it in 2.
Everybody makes such a fuss about Gable. Mary, let me ask you something. What's Clark Gable got that I... No. No, I'd be a fool to throw you a lead like that.
You sure would.
Hello, Mary. Hello, Mr. Benny. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Dennis. I didn't see you. When did you get here?
I came in with Phil.
With Phil? That was quite a while ago. Where have you been?
Well, I sneaked upstairs and put your Christmas present under your pillow.
Oh. Well, what took you so long?
I fell asleep.
Oh.
Say, Mr. Benny, I'd like to thank you for the present you sent me, but I'm all confused.
Confused? Why?
All the packages got mixed up and the tags fell off, and I don't know who sent me what.
Oh, all the cards fell off?
Yeah.
Well, look, kid, did you get a wristwatch?
Oh, a beautiful one, solid gold.
Well, take my card and put it on that. Now, let's...
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Dennis, I'll tell you what Jack gave you. What else did you get?
A portable radio, a cigarette lighter, a candid camera, a silk bathrobe, a golf ball.
Bingo.
Mary.
Dennis, Jack gave you that golf ball.
Oh! I thought it was kind of funny about Mr. Benny giving me the wristwatch.
Why?
On the back is engraved to Dennis from Mother and Dad.
Look, Dennis, on Christmas, it isn't what you get that counts. It's the spirit in which it was given.
Every year he says the same thing.
Certainly I say it because it's true. More people felt that way than...
Mr. Benny, dinner's ready.
Where are you? Oh, anything can happen on Christmas Day. Good. Come on, Mary. We'll go to dinner.
Dennis, do you want to have dinner with us?
Oh, yeah, that'd be swell. And after dinner, we can all sit around the fire and...
Dennis, come here a minute.
Yes, sir?
Over here. Now, look, kid. There's an old saying. 2 is company, and 3 is a crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how can we get rid of Mary?
You nearly loused that one up. Well, all right, Rochester. There'll be the 3 of us for dinner. Come on, kids. Gee, I'm hungry.
Oh, so am I.
I hope Rochester has those big raw carrots. I love them.
I like the small carrot.
I like the big ones. We always argue about that every time. Now, Mary, you sit here. And Dennis, you sit over there. There we are. Now, Rochester, you can get the... Dennis, what happened?
I rolled off the chair. I had the golf ball in my back pocket.
No. Rochester, we're waiting.
Coming, boss, coming.
Well, Rochester's been a very nice Christmas Eve. The gang dropped in, we had a quiet dinner, and now they've gone home. Believe me, I'm ready for bed.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute, boss. I'll fluff up your pillow for you.
What's the matter, Rochester?
There's a package under here.
Oh, yes, it's from Dennis. It's my Christmas present.
Well, open it. Open it.
Okay. Oh, well, this is lovely. A beautiful electric alarm clock. And instead of numbers around the face, it has 12 letters that spell out Jackson Benny.
Yeah. Sure is nice.
Well, I might as well start using it right now. Rochester, you set it to the right time, and I'll plug it in.
Okay. It's 11:30 now, so I'll set it to... Pull it out! Pull it out! Pull it out!
Oh, I'm sorry, Rochester. I didn't mean... Rochester. Rochester. Oh, my goodness. Rochester, speak to me. What are you laughing at?
The lights lit up on the Christmas tree.
Oh, good. Merry Christmas, Rochester.
Merry Christmas, boss.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Day will sing Schubert's Ave Maria. Merry Christmas, everybody.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Jack Benny Program, transcribed, presented by Lucky Strike.
There's
never a rough puff in a Lucky because LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. Yes, at the tobacco auctions, Luckies pay more, millions of dollars more than official parity prices, to get ripe, light, naturally mild tobacco that guarantees more real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. Puff after puff with never a rough puff.
And remember that the tobacco experts, men who can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine tobacco, choose Luckies for their own personal smoking enjoyment. Yes, a recent survey shows that more independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
So take a tip from the experts and smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. With every puff, every pack, you'll get more real deep-down smoking enjoyment. Puff after puff with never a rough puff. Yes, light up a Lucky and enjoy a smoother, milder, truly finer cigarette. Make your next carton Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Happy New Year, everyone. Yes, this is New Year's Day. And we're going to take you to the home of Mary Livingston in Beverly Hills. At the moment, Mary and her maid Pauline are straightening up the house after last night's celebration.
Now, Pauline, when you finish with the living room, start in the den, please.
Yes, ma'am. Gee, Miss Livingston, that was a wonderful party. You sure are a swell hostess.
Well, thanks. Do you really think my guests had a good time?
Oh, yes, especially Dennis Day. I'll bet he never drank champagne before.
You're right, Pauline. He took one drink, grabbed a bottle of catsup, poured it on his head, and yelled, "Hey, look at me, I'm Red Skelton." He really was cute, though.
He might have been cute then, but when he caught me under the mistletoe, he was a mean little kid.
Well, at least everybody had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you can thank your sister Babe for that. She was the life of the party.
Yeah.
She's really a card. That was quite a gag coming to a New Year's Eve party dressed in overalls.
That was no gag. She had to go to work at 1 o'clock.
That's a shame having to work on a holiday.
Holiday or no holiday, smudge pots have to be lit. But Babe was a lot of fun, and so was Phil Harris.
But you know what? I don't remember seeing Mr. Harris leave.
Oh, he never did leave, Pauline.
He didn't? Well, where is he?
You're standing on him.
Oh, Miss Livingston, the way you tease me.
Now go ahead, Pauline. Take those glasses out to the kitchen.
Yes, ma'am. You know, it's a shame that Mr. Benny wasn't at your party last night. Was he ill?
No, he was all right.
Well, I know you invited him. Why didn't he come?
Well, it's a long story, Pauline. It all started yesterday evening at CBS. After our usual rehearsal, the entire cast gathered in Jack's dressing room to wish each other a Happy New Year.
Well, kids, here we are at the end of another year. And it brings a warm glow to my heart having all of you who have been with me so many years gathered here in my dressing room.
Well, Jack, that's sweet.
I feel that I'm a very fortunate man to have such capable people and such true friends.
Oh, Jackson.
Not only are we bound together in friendship, but the quality of your individual performances has been a personal demonstration of your loyalty to me.
Well, thanks, Jack.
So to you, my associates as well as friends, I just want to say in all sincerity that I'm proud of each and every one of you.
Last year, our hooper was down. He spit in our eye.
Dennis, now this is a serious moment, and I meant every word of it.
Well, I think we better break this up and get started for Livy's party. Want to drive over with me, Jackson?
Phil, Jack's not coming to my party.
What?
That's right, Phil. You kids will have to get along without little Jackie. I got a date myself. I got a date all for myself.
A date?
Yes, sir. In fact, I'm going to pick her up in about half an hour.
Well, so that's why you came to rehearsal in top hat, white tie, and tails. Huh?
Yep. I look kind of classy, don't I, Phil?
Classy? You look like the head pot man in a Forest Lawn flower shop.
All right, Phil, all right.
Say, Mr. Benny, who we got this date with?
Oh, she's a girl that I met just recently. Her name is Gloria.
Gloria? Do we know her?
What's she look like, Jackson?
No more questions. I know you're all curious, but I'm not talking.
Well, so the old man is stepping out, huh?
Phil, I'm not an old man. You keep saying that all the time, and you know my age as well as I do.
Weller.
Weller? This is a word? Weller?
Jackson, if you think I'm hard to understand now, catch me at midnight.
Phil.
That's when I'm my wellest.
Well, there's no use trying to be sentimental around this gang. Hey, Dennis, how about singing a number before we leave?
Yes, Dennis. Sing something lively.
Oh, would you like to hear I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts?
Oh, yes. Come on,
Down at an English fair, one evening I was there, when I heard a showman shouting underneath a flare, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Oh, there they are, a-standing in a row. Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. Give 'em a twist, a flick of the wrist, that's what the showman said. How I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Every ball you throw will make me rich. Oh, there stands me wife, the idol of me life, sing and roll a bowl of all a penny a bit.
Roll a penny a bit.
Right you are, mate.
Sing and roll a penny a bit.
Hey, back home. Roll a bowl of all, roll a bowl of all, sing and roll a bowl of all a penny a bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, step right up and take a chance. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. It's not going to cost you threepence or tuppence, but only a penny. And at the present rate of exchange, that's practically nothing. So step right up. Step right up. Oh, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Oh, every ball you throw will make me rich. Oh, there stands me wife, the idol of me life, sing and roll a ball a penny a bit.
Sing and roll a ball a penny a bit.
Hey, back home.
Sing and roll a ball a penny a bit.
Oh, roll a ball, sing and roll a ball a penny a bit.
That was wonderful, Dennis. And the next time we hear you sing, it will be 1950.
Right you are, Governor.
Now, kids, before we leave, I've got a little surprise for you. It's right here in the dressing table. There. How's that?
Jack, a bottle of champagne.
Yes, sir. I'm going to open it and we'll drink a toast before we leave. John, hand me that towel so I can wrap it around the bottle.
There you are, Jack. Don't forget to loosen them wires, Jackson.
I have. Look out, Mary. This cork is liable to fly. This cork is awfully tight.
Let me try it, Jack.
No, Don. I'll pull it out with my teeth. I can do it. Yeah. Okay.
Gosh, Jack, I never thought you could... Jack. Oh, my goodness, he swallowed the cork. Jack!
Don't get excited, Mary. I'll pat him on the back.
It's out. Well, kids, now that the champagne's open, we'll drink a toast. Mary, here's a glass for you. Don, Dennis. Now, where's Phil?
Well, he's over by the water cooler.
I'll be right with you, Jackson.
Phil. Phil, for heaven's sake, what are you drinking all that water for?
Jackson, I got a long night ahead of me, and I want to get them chasers out of the way.
I knew you'd have a good reason. All right, kids, here's to a very... Come in. Well, if it isn't Mel Blanc.
Hiya, Mel. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, Mel. Say, Mel, it was awfully nice of you to drop in.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Benny. And I hope in the coming year you'll be able to use me on your program. You know, I didn't work too much this season.
Well, it's not my fault, Mel. I use you when I can, but after all, how often can I hire someone just to imitate Al Jolson? You see, it's hardly worth it.
Yeah, but I got a wife and 6 kids. Last week I couldn't even afford to buy a Christmas tree.
No.
Yeah. My kids can't go to school because they ain't got no shoes, and my wife is walking around in rags, and the rent is past due.
Gee.
If things get any worse, I'll have to sell my Cadillac.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll do all I can, Mel. Come in.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Well, yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Kittle, it's sure nice of you to come in and see us on New Year's Eve.
Yes, I just dropped by to wish everybody season's greetings.
Well, Mr. Kitzel, I'm having a party at my house tonight. Would you like to come?
Oh, bless your heart, Miss Livingston. But tonight I'm taking my wife out formal. And for this occasion, I'm renting a car.
Renting a car? Where are you taking her?
To Simon's Drive-In.
Oh, Mr. Kitzel, you're joking.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Well, Mr. Kitzel, I just opened a bottle of champagne. How about having a drink with us?
Oh, thank you, and I'd like to propose a toast.
Here. A toast.
Go ahead, Mr. Kitzel.
Well, here's to Jack Benny, who's just like good wine. He improves as he ages, but he stays 39.
Thank you, Mr. Kitzel, and here's to you.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to propose a toast to every member of my cast. Mary, I'm going to start with you. Now, hold up your glass. Mary, you've been on my program almost 18 years. And isn't that funny? There's so much I want to say, but I don't know how to say it.
Well, you don't have to say it, Jack. I know what you mean.
And Phil?
Yeah, Dad.
Phil, I want to drink to you, too. You've been with me 14 years. And, Phil, sometimes you rib me a little, but I love you. And you've certainly gone a long way.
Thanks, Jackson. You want to know something? There's no one who takes more pride in my being on your program than my father.
Your father?
Yep. He knew it was always my ambition to be on your show. And the day you signed me up, I went home, showed my father the contract, and he looked at me and said, "Congratulations. It makes me happy to know that you finally reached your goal, son."
He said goal, son! Anyway, I thought you'd gone.
Well, don't get mad, Mr. Benny. I just hung around because I want you to hear a song I recorded for Capitol Records.
Mel, you recorded a song?
Yeah, Toot Toot Tootsie, Goodbye.
Oh, Jolson again, huh?
Yeah, but this is different. If you just listen to it, you'd want to put it on your program.
Well, okay, Mel, let's hear it. How about it, fella?
Toot Toot Tootsie, Goodbye. Toot Toot Tootsie, don't cry. The choo-choo train, take me away from you. No one can tell us that it make me, kiss me, Tootsie, and then do it over again. Watch for the mail. I never fail. If you don't get a letter, then you know I'm a child. Don't cry. Toot, toot, tootsie, goodbye.
giving away. We're calling lucky away. No tobacco. It's always lucky, round and firm and fully packed. Puff, puff, have one on me. Lucky say more, say millions more. For all that fine and light tobacco we all adore. Happy New Year, goodbye, and keep on smoking lucky. Goodbye.
Very good, Mel. Mel, and you're right. I think I'll use that number on my program.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Benny. Goodbye, everybody.
Well, Happy New Year. You know, kids, he really did a great imitation of Jolson.
How do you like the way he imitated the Sportsman Quartet? That kid's clever.
He sure is. Now, what was I saying before Mel did his song?
You were drinking a toast to all of us.
Oh, yes. Don, you're next. Hold up your glass, Don. Don, as the year comes to a close, I want you to know that my association with you is a very happy one. You're not only a fine announcer, but a gentleman, a scholar, and a friend.
Well, thank you, Jack.
Don, how long have you been with Jack?
9 years.
9 years? No, Don, you've been with me 16.
Oh, you're counting the 7 years you had me auditioning.
You gotta count everything. Anyway, Don, here's to you. Good luck. And now, Dennis.
Yes, sir?
Dennis, you've been with me almost 11 years. I remember the day you first came on my program. You were young. You were naive. But you had a beautiful singing voice. And as the years went by, your voice became more matured, more beautiful than ever. And then, suddenly, you blossomed out. And now you're a star in your own right.
My show is better than yours.
Dennis, look at me.
Yes, sir?
Turn away again. I know, it's my own... It's my own fault.
Jack, I've got to run home now and get things ready for my party tonight.
Okay, Mary.
Jack, are you sure you don't want to join us?
No, Mary, not tonight. In fact, I'm going to pick my girl up in about 10 minutes.
Well, Jackson, why don't you bring her over to Livy's house?
No, my plans are all made. Gloria and I are going to have cocktails at Ciro's, dinner at Romanoff, and then dance in the new year at the Macombo. Yes, sir. Well, run along, kids. Have a good time at the party, and don't worry about me.
Well, I'll answer, Jack. Hello? Yes, he's here. Who's calling? Oh, Jack, it's for you. It's Gloria.
Gloria? Give me that phone. Hello, Gloria. I'm all ready and raring to go. I'll pick you up in about... What? You can't? But, Gloria, I've got reservations and everything. And I'm all dressed. But look, of course I believe you. But, gee, it's New Year's Eve. You gotta go. Oh, now look, Gloria, isn't there some way you can make it? Oh. Well, if you can't, I guess you just can't. So long, then. Goodbye. Well, what are you all staring at? Gloria had a very good excuse, and she's nuts about me, too. Well, she is.
Jack, as long as your date is off, how about coming over to my party?
Yeah, Jackson, come on. We're going to have a lot of fun.
No, thanks. I don't feel like going anywhere.
Oh, come on, Jack. Don't be so stubborn.
I'm not stubborn. I just don't feel like going.
Jackson, sometimes you act
Oh,
like...
Phil, leave him alone. Jack, the party is at my house, and if you change your mind and want to come, I'd love to have you.
Thanks, Mary, but I'm going home. Where's my top hat and gloves? Oh, here they are. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, Jack.
So long.
Gee, I wish Jack hadn't walked out like that. It makes me feel awful.
Yeah. No, it's no fun for him being alone on New Year's Eve.
Well, maybe he'd feel worse in a crowd.
I forgot my cane. Here it is. Now, so long.
Happy New Year, Mr. Benny.
Huh? Oh, Happy New Year, Mike.
Is your rehearsal over?
Yeah.
And now you're stepping out, eh?
No, I'm just going home. You know, New Year's Eve is just another night to me. Good night, Mike. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Mr. Benny, and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year, mister. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey, you in the monkey suit. Why don't you watch where you're going?
I'm sorry. It was my fault.
Well, watch it, bud.
Maybe on this side of the street it won't.
Hi, Rube.
Huh?
You remember me? I met you in the store while I was doing my Christmas shopping. I was looking for my wife.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Say, Rube, your coat's ripped up the back.
No, those are tails. I always dress like this on New Year's Eve.
Well, ain't you the dandy?
Please, I'm in no mood to talk to you now. This is New Year's Eve, and
I know. That's why I'm down here in the city. I aim to do a little celebrating myself.
Good, yeah.
At the stroke of 12, I'm going to take a drink, blow a horn, and catch the bus back to Calabasas.
Fine.
If you want to join me, you're welcome. Got a little snort here in my back pocket.
No, thanks. I'm going home. Goodbye.
Okay, Rube. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I wonder why he keeps calling me Rube. He was kind of friendly, though. Well, I better hail a cab now. See, it's kind of cold. I think I'll stop in here and get a cup of coffee first.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Would you like a nice table right here by the window?
No, thanks. I'm all alone. I'll just sit at the counter here.
Oh, please come sit by the window. I'd like everybody to see how nice my customers dress.
No, thanks. Some other time.
All right. If you like to sit at the counter, all right. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Say, we got a special $2 dinner tonight. Steak, mashed potatoes, string beans, and for dessert, nice apple pie a la mode.
Well,
if you sit by the window, I give it to you free.
No, thanks. I'll just have a cup of coffee at the counter. I don't know if I just want coffee or... Yeah, I guess coffee's enough.
What'll it be?
Coffee, please.
Would you like a sandwich or some toast with it?
No, thanks. Just coffee.
Want a little cream with it?
No, just black coffee.
Okay. Here's your coffee.
Thanks.
Gee, I'm sorry about tonight.
That's all right, Gloria. Forget it, Gloria.
But honest, Jack, Mamie promised she'd work for me tonight.
Mamie. All the time it's Mamie. Should have let me know before the last minute.
I'm sorry.
I see you're wearing my corsage. And on that greasy uniform yet. I don't want this coffee. I'm going home.
I'll be through at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock, I'll be snoring. Goodbye. Always blames everything on Mamie. Mamie did this. Mamie did that. Oh, taxi! Taxi! Here you are, driver.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Who's that?
It's me, Rochester.
Boss, how come you're home so early? I thought you were going out tonight and celebrate.
I was, but things didn't work out. Say, Rochester, I thought you were going out tonight.
Oh, I am.
Well, had you better hurry. It's almost midnight.
Boss, on Central Avenue, Father Time lingers till we get rolling.
Really?
Sometimes we roll right into February.
Well, you can leave whenever you want to, Rochester.
But what are you going to do, boss?
Oh, I'll just sit by the fire and read a book and then go to bed.
Oh, boss, I hate to see you all alone on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's all right.
No, it ain't all right. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to be right here with you.
Oh, Rochester, you don't have to do that.
Sure, boss. We'll greet the New Year together.
Well, hey, we might have fun at that. Have we got any horns in the house?
No, we sold them.
Oh.
We've got some Ohio State tennis left. We can wave those.
No, they don't make any noise. Look, Rochester, it's almost midnight. You better run it along.
No, sir, I'm staying right here with you.
All right, if you insist.
I'll get a can of beer out the icebox and we'll drink to the New Year.
No, Rochester. If you're willing to stay home with me on New Year's Eve, we're going to do this thing right. We're going to open a bottle of champagne.
We're going to open a what?
We're going to open a bottle of champagne. There's a cold one in the icebox. Now, hurry up.
Yes, sir.
Gee, it was nice of Rochester to stay. Maybe it won't be... Gee, it's midnight already. Rochester, hurry! Hurry up!
Coming, boy, coming! Here's the champagne, boy.
Well, open it. Open it up.
I am. Here's the glass, boy.
Good. Pour some in. That's swell. Now, fill up yours. There. Well, Happy New Year, Rochester.
Happy New Year, boss, and I hope we'll be together for many more.
I hope so. And here's to it. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind, should old acquaintance be forgot and
Care food packages have been improved and increased with more meats and fats that mean health to hungry children and families overseas. 22.5 pounds of life-giving food for $10. Delivery guaranteed. Send your contribution to Nonprofit Care, Los Angeles or New York. That's C-A-R-E, Care, Los Angeles or New York. Jack will be back in a moment, but first...
LSMFT. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, ripe, light tobacco that always smokes smooth and mild. That's why there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Now, fine tobacco like this costs more, and at the tobacco auctions, Luckies pay more, millions of dollars more than official parity prices, for light, mellow leaf that gives you a smoother, milder, altogether finer cigarette every puff of the way.
No doubt about it, friends. Lucky's give you more. More smoothness and mildness. More real deep-down smoking enjoyment. So light up a Lucky and enjoy the mellow taste of truly fine tobacco. From first puff to last, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Good reason to make your next carton Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed. So free and easy on the draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, to all my listeners everywhere, a very happy and prosperous New Year from me, Jack Benny.
And from me, Mary Livingston.
And from me, Don Wilson.
And from me, Dennis Day.
And from me, Rochester.
And from Bill Harris.
He's not grammatical, folks, but he's sincere. Good night, all.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and the Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned for the Amos and Andy Show, which follows immediately. Transcribed at the CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, 1949 is gone and forgotten. But to Jack Benny, 1950 will always be remembered. Because 1950 is what he paid for his new suit. And here he is, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, I want to ask you something. How did you know that I bought a new suit?
I heard it on Dreer Prusa.
You heard it on what? Wait a minute, I want to hear this. You heard it on what?
I heard it on Drew Pearson's broadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, he got the award for being the best announcer in the show. That gives you a rough idea. Dr. Gallup must have given it to you. Now, wait a minute, Don. Drew Pearson is a commentator who specializes in national affairs. Why would he mention that I bought a suit for $19.50?
Because Wall Street feels that it indicates a definite trend toward a bull market.
Yeah, I can't understand it. A man goes out and buys a plain herringbone suit, and it shakes the economic system of the nation. I need wool socks, too, but who knows what it'll do to England. But you know, Don, I really bought this suit because I thought I was going to be invited to Clark Gable's wedding.
Well, the reason you weren't invited, Jack, was because they wanted to keep it a secret.
I know that. Gee, and when Clark got married, he certainly left a trail of broken hearts.
Yeah, there hasn't been so many gals weeping and wailing since Alice slipped the ring over my finger.
Well, if it isn't the bashful blonde from Elbow Bend. Say, Phil.
Hey, wait a minute, Jackson. Before we get into one of them routines, I would like to greet my orchestra.
I say.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Maestro.
Maestro? They call you Maestro? Phil, how come you and your musicians are treating each other with so much dignity?
On New Year's Eve, we all made a resolution.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I figured that the clowning and kidding we did was all right for the first 5 or 10 years, but now my orchestra's reached a position of prestige in the entertainment world, and we should do nothing to jeopardize it.
Well, that's wonderful, Phil. By the way, I noticed that your brass section is missing. How come?
Their parole was canceled on New Year's Day.
Well, I'm glad that 703896 is still with us. I like the way he sandpapers his fingers before he plays the piano. What a gang. Phil, this is the new year, 1950. Why don't you do something about your orchestra?
What do you mean?
Well, just look at Remley sitting there on his stool, sound asleep, using his guitar for a pillow.
Well, that ain't Frankie's fault, Jackson. It's not his fault. You know, you don't get much rest when you sleep under the sink, on the piano, or in a bathtub.
Wait a minute, Phil. You mean Frankie sleeps in those kind of places?
Look, Dad, he sleeps in the place he was when the bottle last ran dry.
What?
You know, when your knees buckle, you ain't always over a feather bed.
I guess not, but you'd think... Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. I was just going... Well, Jack, you're wearing that new suit you bought last Tuesday, aren't you?
Yes, Mary. Wait a minute. How did you know I bought it last Tuesday?
Truman had it in his message to Congress.
Oh, yes. They booed the coat and cheered the pants. I remember that. What excitement. So, Mary, you know I haven't seen you since the Rose Bowl game.
That's right, Jack.
There was some crowd out there, wasn't it, Mary?
Oh, we didn't go to the game. We watched it on Jack's new television set.
You mean Jack got a television set?
Uh-huh.
Well, don't tell me that Tighter Than Springtime is finally loosened up.
Oh, he didn't buy it. It came with his new suit.
Mary, don't be ridiculous. The Warner Brothers gave it to me.
Well, it's about time. You certainly gave it to them.
Yeah, now, kid, let's cut out this small talk because we got a very important show to do.
Jack, is Fred Allen going to be on this program today?
No, Mary. Alan will be with us next week. The train he was coming out on had to go through a sheep dip treatment at the border. They had to dip him twice. Tonight we're doing a very important play. It's an exciting mystery melodrama that takes place in a restaurant.
Oh, come on. Let's get this corny sketch over with.
Huh? Dennis, you're late.
So what? You want to make something out of it?
What?
You heard me, Clyde. You ain't wearing earmuffs.
Dennis.
Dennis. You make me sick.
Now, look, kid. If you think you can come in here...
Don't crowd me, son.
For heaven's sake. Dennis, what's come over you?
It's my New Year's resolution. Nobody's pushing me around anymore.
That's telling him, Wormy.
Yeah.
Look, Dennis.
Leave him alone, Jackson. I told him to get tough.
Oh, I see. What'd you say, Dennis?
Nobody's pushing me around anymore. From now on, I'm getting what I want. Hey, you in the high heels. Come here.
Me?
Yes, you, Toots. Come here.
Go ahead, Mary. Go ahead. Play with it.
Yes?
Now put your arms around me and hold me tight. Tight, I said. Now I'll put my arms around you and squeeze you like this and... Phil, what do I do now?
Oh, well, the first thing you do, Dennis, is stop acting silly.
Yes, sir.
And the third thing you do is sing your song.
What's the second?
Let Go of Mary. Now go ahead. Let's have it.
Watched you bloom in the wildwood, and I hope you'd be mine. Mine, now your eyes beam at twilight, sparkling like each dewdrop at dawn.
Sung by Dennis Day. Very good, Dennis. That was really wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Benny, and congratulations on your new suit.
Well, thank you, Dennis. How did you know I bought a new suit?
It's in the lyrics of Don't Cry, Joe.
Such a fuss over a suit. It's only herringbone, you know. Wormy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight, we are going to present a melodramatic mystery entitled Murder at Romanoff's. This scene takes place in one of the most fashionable restaurants in Beverly Hills, where all of... excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, I'm in the middle of the program.
I know, boss, but this is very important. The man from the life insurance company was here about that policy you're taking out, and he asked me a lot of questions.
Well, I hope you answer them right.
Oh, I did. When he asked me your height, I said 5'10".
Uh-huh.
Your weight, 164.
Uh-huh.
Your age, 39.
Uh-huh.
We had quite a round table discussion on that one.
Wait a minute, Rochester. Why should there be any question about my age?
Oh, it wasn't a question. It was the answer we had trouble with.
Oh. Well, I'll straighten that out when I see him. What other questions were there?
Well, color of your eyes, blue.
Uh-huh.
Color of your hair, blonde.
You told him I was a blonde?
You must be. I got the red, brown, and black ones in the bandit.
Oh, yes. What else happened?
Well, then I told him what you wanted. And he said that never in the history of the life insurance business has a policy been made out that way.
Well, didn't you insist that I want it that way, Rochester?
Yeah, but he told me no matter what you say, you can't be your own beneficiary. But I argued and finally convinced him that you wouldn't take the policy out unless you could be.
And what did he say?
He said just leave a forwarding address and they'll mail it on to you.
Good. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye.
All right, kids, let's not waste any more time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight, we bring you that melodramatic mystery entitled Murder at Romanoff's. Set the scene, Don.
Our play opens in the private office of Captain O'Benny of the Beverly Hills Police. Curtain music.
Now, listen, men. There have been a lot of complaints. We're going to straighten things up around here. You first, Officer O'Day.
What'd I do now?
Yesterday, I sent you out on a simple assignment. All you had to do was look for cars parked next to fire hydrants and give out traffic tickets.
Well, I did.
O'Day, how many times must I tell you? Put the tickets on the cars, not the hydrants. And you, O. Wilson, you haven't been attending to your duties either.
I'm sorry, sir.
Being sorry doesn't help. Remember, you're the only man on the police force who's a condemned murderer.
Say, Chief, how come we have a murderer working with us?
Well, on the day of his execution, he started ordering his last meal, and the state couldn't afford it. But I'm really disgusted with you, man. Why, we even have our bloodhound, Prince, is smarter than you. Come here, Prince. Here, Prince. Prince, how much is 1 and 2? That's right. Now, what's 6 minus 4? Right again, Prince. Now, what is the square root of 73,429? Put down that pencil and figure it out in your head. Stupid dog. Now, men, today I want... Hello, Beverly Hills Police, Captain O'Benny speaking.
Hello, Captain. This is Mitzi LaRue.
Mitzi LaWho?
Mitzi LaRue.
Hello, Mitzi. How do you do? Prince, put down those drums. Never should have given them to him for Christmas. Now, what is it, Miss LaRue?
Well, Captain, I'm the cigarette girl at Romanoff's restaurant. I want to report that a man named Carlton Quince was murdered here 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago?
Yes.
What was that, another murder?
No, the same one.
What?
We had it transcribed for release at this more convenient time.
Good. We'll be right over. Goodbye. All right, men, get out the squad car. There's been a murder at Romanoff's. And I'll find out who killed Carlton Quince, or my name ain't...
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Rum and bourbon, bully, back, so Ellison G, Ellison Lucky. Everybody knows that Lucky Strike pays millions more for fine tobacco. Yes, sirree. Hey!
Okay, man, this is Romanoff's restaurant. That man in that red uniform and gold braid must be the doorman. I'll ask him. Pardon me, are you the doorman?
Well, who do you think I am, Dreer Pooson?
Stand aside and let me in.
You can't get in here unless you have a reservation.
A reservation? Well...
If you say anything about being an Indian, I'll punch you right in the nose.
I was trying to switch it. Now, look, there's been a murder committed in here. I'm Captain O'Benny, so stand aside while I... Doorman, what are you staring at?
Ooh, a new suit.
How did you know?
I heard it on the frost warning.
Oh, well, out of my way. Come on, man, let's go inside. I'm going to find the murder of Carlton Quince, or my name ain't...
Ellis, and the Stevie's mine and light and mild tobacco, yes, sirree. Hey!
Hey, Chief, this place is sure crowded with celebrities.
Yeah, Drew, you mean you searched the premises. Now, I'm going to question some of these people. I think that little short guy over there is the owner of the place. Hey, you, what's your name?
I am Prince Michael Romanoff.
Well, tell me, Prince Romanoff, what do you know about this murder?
Murder? Has there been a murder here?
Yes, your cigarette girl called me and told me about it.
Well, here she comes now. I'll ask her. Tell me, Mitzi, have we had a murder today?
Yes. Carlton Quince was killed.
One lousy rehearsal.
Carlton Quince was killed. There he is at the corner table, dead.
So he is. Strange, I didn't notice it before.
Wait a minute, who are you trying to kid? Don't tell me you didn't notice him with all that blood on his shirt.
I thought it was Bosch.
Oh, yeah? Now, come clean, Romanoff. Did you kill Carlton Quince?
It couldn't have been me, Captain. I wasn't even here when the murder was committed.
Where were you?
Having lunch at Simon's Drive-In.
How come you weren't eating here?
Who can afford these prices?
Oh, well, who's that sitting over there eating that big steak?
Simon. He's loaded.
I'll get back to you later. I want to look around. When nobody leaves this room, there's been a murder committed.
Don't raise your voice, Chief. You remember, this is the classiest joint in town.
Some class. Look at that broom leaning against the table.
Well, that's no broom. That's Frank Sinatra.
Well, I'm going over and talk to him. Say, you. Are you Frank Sinatra?
Won't you tell me when we will meet again? Sunday, Monday. I'll be satisfied with you by my side.
Oh, stop showing off.
Quiet, O'Day. Where's O. Wilson?
In the old kitchen. Where else?
You go look for clues. Now, listen, Sinatra. What were you doing at the time of the murder?
I was eating lunch.
A likely story. What did you have?
A raisin.
One raisin for lunch?
Boy, am I stuffed.
Never mind. I want to know.
Say, Captain O'Benny, that's a beautiful new suit you're wearing. Cost $19.50, didn't it?
Yes, how did you know?
Last Friday I sang Don't Cry Joe.
Oh, yeah. Now, tell me, Frank, what do you know about the murder of Carlton Quince?
Well, personally, I think Romanoff did it.
Oh, you do? Well, I'll call him back again. Oh, Prince! Not you, you stupid dog! Put down that pencil. If you haven't figured it out yet, forget it. Prince Michael, come here.
Yes, Captain O'Benny.
Sinatra thinks you're the man who murdered...
Captain O'Benny.
What is it, O'Day?
Would you think a man is guilty if you saw him running around with a smoking gun in one hand, a blood-stained knife in the other, and he kept yelling, I did it, I did it, I did it! I did it!
Well, of course that man is guilty.
Well, if I see anyone like that, I'll arrest
him. Good.
Tell me, Captain O'Benny, who is this peasant?
I'm Officer O'Day. Who are you?
I am His Imperial Highness Prince Michael Romanoff.
Well, how do you do?
Cut that out, O'Day. I want to finish questioning Sinatra. Where did he go?
Here I am, Captain O'Benny. You got to do something about this dog of yours.
What about the dog?
He keeps taking me out in the yard and burying me all day. Oh, come on now, doggy. Put me down.
Yeah, put Frankie down. Stop beating his head against the floor. You teach a dog drums and he goes crazy. Now, look, we're not getting anywhere in this investigation.
Say, Captain.
What is it, Mitzi?
Why don't you question that woman at the corner table? She looks suspicious.
Okay, I will. Nobody leave here till I come back. Come on, men. I'll find out who killed Carlton Quince, or my name ain't...
LSMFT, you'll find the murderer of Carlton Quince. Hey!
All right, miss. I'm Captain O'Benny. What's your name?
Rosalind Russell.
Rosalind Russell! Now, wait a minute, Miss Russell. This is a restaurant. Who's applauding you?
The waiters. I'm a heavy tipper.
Well, I wouldn't know about that. Now, what were you doing at the time of the murder?
Believe me, Captain O'Benny, I had nothing to do with the murder. Absolutely nothing. I was just sitting here eating my lunch.
A likely story. What did you have for lunch?
Well, I started off with tomato juice. No, it was prune juice. No, tomato juice. And then I had consomme. And then I had a filet mignon, medium rare, and potatoes. French fried potatoes. Do you hear me? French fried potatoes.
Miss Russell, have you ever won the Academy Award?
No, but I'm always in there punching.
Now, just a minute, Miss Russell. Where were you when Carlton Quince was murdered?
I was in the theater watching my new Columbia picture, Tell It to the Judge. And by the way, congratulations on your new suit.
How did you know?
It was in the newsreel.
Say, that's a nice dress you're wearing. It's taffeta, isn't it?
Yes, it is taffeta.
Would you mind getting up and walking around a bit?
Walk around? Why?
I always wanted to hear Rosalind Russell.
Please, I just had my lunch.
Now, Miss Russell, what do you know about this murder?
Nothing. Why don't you ask Gene Kelly over there?
Gene Kelly? Oh, yes. I'll go over and talk to him. And I'll find out who killed Carlton Quince, or my name ain't...
Ellis. Lucky Strike. Hey!
That was the lousiest thing I've ever heard in my life. One rehearsal. That's all. You're Gene Kelly, aren't you? Now, what were you doing at the time of the murder, Kelly? Now, come on, Kelly, talk. This is radio, not television.
Okay, I'll talk.
I thought you would. Now, what were you doing 2 hours ago at the time of the murder?
I was in the Egyptian Theater watching that new Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Technicolor picture, On the Town, which stars Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Betty Garrett, and Jules Munchin. It was directed by Gene Kelly, who also appeared in such sensational hits as Take Me Out to the Ball Game, The Pirate, Anchors Away, and in his spare time gives dancing lessons to Arthur Murray.
I see. And what did you do after you left the theater?
I rushed right over here.
Why?
I couldn't wait to see your new suit.
How did you know I had a new suit?
Well, While I was sitting in the Egyptian Theater watching that new Metro Goldwyn Mayer Technicolor picture On the Town, which stars Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Betty Garrett, and Jules Munchin, and was directed by Gene Kelly, who also appeared in such sensational hits as Take Me Out to the Ball Game, The Pirate, Anchors Away. Yes? What was it you asked me?
I asked you how you knew I had a new suit.
Oh, yes. Well, while I was in the Egyptian Theater watching...
Never mind! Now, look, Kelly, I'm going to find out who killed Carlton Quinns if it takes me clear into the middle of Amos and Andy. Now, come clean, Kelly. Why did you kill Carlton Quinns?
I didn't do it. It was Mitzi LaRue.
I didn't do it. It was Mike Romanoff.
I didn't do it. It was Rosalind Russell.
I didn't do it.
Wait, Frankie, I haven't accused you yet.
What's going on here anyway? Now, look, somebody in this room murdered Carlton Quinns, and I'm going to find out who.
I beg your pardon, but I have to go now.
Huh? Who are you?
Carlton Quince.
Carlton Quince? Why, you're the murdered man.
I know, but I have to go to rehearsal. They're killing me again tonight on the Whistler.
On the Whistler program?
Yes, would you hand me that napkin, please?
The napkin?
I want to wipe off this borscht. They're strangling me there.
Oh, well, lots of luck. May I have your autograph?
Certainly.
Thank you. Music, please.
Jack,
we'll be back in just a moment, but first...
Friends, it's certainly true that when you smoke, you want smoothness, mildness, and deep-down enjoyment. And that's precisely what you'll get with every Lucky Strike you light, because there's never a rough puff in a Lucky.
Just think of that, friends. Luckies are always smooth, mild, and mellow, every puff of the way. For you see, it takes fine tobacco to make a fine cigarette, and LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. Now, fine tobacco costs more, and Luckies pay more. That's right. Luckies pay millions of dollars more than official parity prices to get ripe, mellow tobacco for your Lucky Strike. Just listen for a moment to what the tobacco experts say about the kind of leaf Lucky Strike buys. Take Mr. L. Garland Griffin, a tobacco auctioneer from Clarksville, Virginia, who recently said,
"All in all, I've sold over 100 million pounds of tobacco. And season after season, I've seen Lucky Strike buy fine tobacco. Prime, ripe leaf. The kind of tobacco for downright good smoking. I've smoked Luckies regularly for 14 years.
Now there's a tip for you, friends, from a man who really knows tobacco. So for your own deep-down smoking enjoyment, light up a Lucky. You'll agree with the tobacco experts, with the millions who choose Luckies for a finer, milder, smoother smoke. Yes, puff after puff, pack after pack. There's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Good reason to make your next carton Lucky Strike.
All right, men, we're on our way back to the station. I better make a report. Calling all cars, it's Captain O'Benny. The Romanoff murder mystery has been solved, thanks to Michael Romanoff, Frank Sinatra, Rosalind Russell, and Gene Kelly. That is all. Headquarters, you got anything to report?
Yes, Chief. Something just came in on a teletype.
What is it?
It says Fred Allen will be the guest star on a Jack Benny program next week.
That'll really be murder. Hey, we're supposed to make a right turn to the police station. You turned left, you stupid dog. How he ever got his driver's license, I'll never know.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and a day in the life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned for the Amos and Andy Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. From first puff to last, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Yes, from the very first puff, you get smooth, mild, smoking enjoyment. The rich, mellow taste of fine tobacco. Because LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. Now, fine tobacco costs more, and at the auctions, Luckies pay more, millions of dollars more than official parity prices, to get fine, light, naturally mild tobacco. Tobacco that smokes cool and smooth, with never a rough puff. The independent tobacco experts can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy ripe, mellow leaf. And a recent survey shows more of these experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen, smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
That's a tip for you, friends, for your greater enjoyment of smoking. Yes, for a smoother, milder smoke with never a rough puff. Smoke the Smoke Tobacco Expert Smoke, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back a few hours. It's just before our regular Sunday rehearsal, and Jack is in his dressing room waiting for his guest star to appear.
Oh, Rochester, has Fred Allen arrived yet?
No, sir. Say, boss, Mr. Allen has been off the air for a long time, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Well, you and he never did get along. How come you're having him on your program?
Well, Rochester, I'll admit it took me a long time to make up my mind. I didn't feel sorry for Mr. Allen when he lost his job. And I wasn't particularly upset when he was evicted from his house. But last week, when I saw him standing on the corner of Sunset and Doheny, selling maps to movie stars' homes, I wept. He looked awful standing out there selling those maps. His suit was so ragged, it looked like he bought it one flight up and then fell down the stairs.
No kidding, boss. Does he really look that bad?
Rochester, you won't believe this, but Allen is so weak that he's talking through his mouth now. He hasn't the strength to push the words up through his nose. Oh, it's pathetic.
Well, then, under the circumstance, I suppose you're going to give him a very generous check.
Well, a man should never let his sympathies override his good judgment in business. I'm going to pay him according to the number of laughs he gets.
Then you'd better watch it, boss. He's liable to live himself right into the upper brackets.
Listen, Allen couldn't ad-lib the word please if it was preceded by give me a package of Beeman's Pepsin chewing gum. So I'm not worried about what he's like.
Jack.
What is it, Don?
Well, everyone's out on stage waiting for you.
Oh, good. Has Fred Allen come in yet?
Well, not yet.
Oh, well, I'll be out in a minute.
Boss. While you're rehearsing, you want me to make out the payroll like I always do?
Yes, Rochester. And on Don Wilson's check, deduct 50 cents.
50 cents?
Yes, and on the stub, make a notation. Deduction for DP.
DP? What does that stand for?
Dreer Pooson. He'll understand. Well, I better get out on the stage. See you later, Rochester. Yada-dee-da-dum, da-dee-da-dum, da-dum-dum. Gee, that Los Angeles Open golf tournament sure was exciting. My legs are still sore from following Hogan and Snead. I was silly to follow such good players. They never lose any balls. Yada-dee-da-dum, da-dum, 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 da-dee-da-dum.
Now, fellas, before we try that number again, I want to make a few changes. First trumpet. In the third measure, change the F sharp to an A flat.
Phil.
Just a minute, Jackson. Now, in the second sax, in that first measure following the coda, change the D flat to an E natural.
Look,
now,
Phil.
tenor sax, clarinet, and flute. Right after the andante, give me a little more pianissimo.
Phil.
Now, let's have it. 1, 2. Exactly what I want.
Phil, what was that?
Some enchanted evening.
Phil, that was Some Enchanted Evening?
Sure.
And that's the way you're going to play it on my program?
Certainly.
Well, Phil.
Yeah.
If Some Enchanted Evening you should meet a stranger, ask him for a job. That was the worst.
Wait a minute, Jackson. I forgot the most important change of all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Joe, turn your trombone around. You're blowing in the wrong end.
I wondered when you noticed that he's been doing it since 1936. Phil, if I were you, I'd worry less about the music and more.
Jack, let's get on with the rehearsal.
Well, we'll start when Alan gets here.
Is Fred Allen going to be our guest?
Certainly, Mary. I told you last week.
I thought you were kidding.
Getting Fred Allen is no surprise to me.
What?
I could see the handwriting on the wall.
Dennis.
You're in the middle of your season. You got to start getting laughs, kid.
Now, look.
Some Sundays I'm ashamed to go home.
Wait a minute, Dennis. There's nothing for you to be ashamed of about my program. I happen to be one of the country's outstanding comedians.
Some comedian. You couldn't ad-lib the word please if it was preceded by give me a package of Beeman's Pepsin chewing gum.
Dennis, where'd you hear that?
On Groucho Marx's program Wednesday night.
Oh, yes. It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah. I like the part where Groucho said Fred Allen is so weak he has to talk through his mouth.
Dennis, shut up. What a kid.
Jack.
What?
I just look over the script, and from the jokes I've got, you must have stolen them from Death of a Salesman.
What?
I haven't got one good gag in the whole show.
Well, it's your own fault, Mary. I had a very funny routine in there about your sister, Babe, and you made me take it out.
Of course I did. The horrible things you make me say about her.
About Babe?
Certainly. One week she's a model in a harness shop. Next week she's a hostess on a live bait barge. And the following week she's a sewer inspector at Pismo Beach.
Well, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? People think she can't hold a job.
Oh, well, then we won't tell any more jokes like that about Babe.
And you can stop talking about her looks, too.
Now, wait a minute, Mary. Even though it is your sister, let's face it. She never was exactly voted Miss America.
No, but she came close.
Close?
Mr. America.
Oh, yes. Gabby Hayes came in second, I remember. Anyway, Mary, if you object so strenuously to what we say about Babe, we'll leave it out of the
Well,
script.
say, Jack, it's getting kind of late. Can't we rehearse without Alan?
No, we can't, Don.
Well, say, Mr. Benny, as long as we have to wait, would you like to hear my song first?
Well, yes, Dennis, you might have... Oh, wait a minute. That reminds me of something.
Tell us, and the people million more for fine tobacco, yes, sirree. Hey!
Now, go ahead, Dennis. Sing your song, will you?
Jack.
What?
What was that?
Well, during our murder mystery last week, the quartet was supposed to sing that, and at one point they got it so mixed up that nothing came out. It was just awful.
Oh, so you're making them sing it today, huh, Jack?
500 times. But they won't bother us. They have to stay in that closet until they finish.
But, Jack, the four of them in such a small closet.
Well, that's part of the punishment, Mary. They can't stand each other, you know.
Well, I don't think they're crazy enough to sing that same thing 500 times.
You don't think so? Listen to this.
Tell us, and the people million more for fine tobacco, yes, sirree. Hey!
You see? Now, Dennis, go ahead and sing your song.
500 times?
No, only one.
Someday it may have your happy, happy time. Though things may look very dark, your dream is not in vain. For when do you find a rainbow? Only after rain is over through the moon. And someday, it may be tomorrow, you will suddenly hear chimes. And you'll have your happy, happy
That was very good, Dennis, and when you do it on the show, I'll say that was Dennis Day singing Happy Times from Danny Kaye's new picture, The Inspector General, starring Danny Kaye. The song was written by Mrs. Danny Kaye and sung in the picture by Mr. Danny Kaye. There, I guess that'll take care of the Christmas present I forgot to send them. Now, kids, let's try and...
Yes, sirree. Hey!
Dennis, get away from that door.
Jack, you've got to stop this. One of the fellas in the quartet look exhausted.
Must be the tenor. They never do hold up. But maybe I ought to take a look.
Alice, and the teeth make more for fine tobacco.
They're all right, Mary.
Are you sure?
Certainly, I'll show you.
Yes, sirree. Hey!
See, they're fine. Now, look, kids, I've made up my mind. If Alan doesn't get here for rehearsal in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to cancel him. I wonder where he can be. He hasn't any friends out here. Maybe, I don't know.
Will it be anything else, Mr. Allen?
Yes, waiter. I'll have another cup of coffee.
You know, Mr. Allen, before I took this job here at the Brown Derby, I was a waiter at Lindy's.
Really?
Now, how are things back in New York?
Well, they're about the same, except we have a water shortage, you know.
Oh, yeah, I've been reading about that. Did it affect you personally?
Well, it didn't bother me much at first, but after several weeks, something told me to take a bath.
Gee, what did you do?
Well, every day I'd lunch at the automat, and while the nickel changer wasn't watching, I would slyly pilfer half a glass of water, which I would take home and pour into my bathtub.
Yeah?
Then on Tuesday evenings, I would visit my friends, and while they were listening to my jokes on Milton Berle's program, I would siphon a little water out of their goldfish bowl. Oh, I used many other ingenious methods of collecting moisture. When pigeons weren't looking, I would raise them up slowly and drop my handkerchief into their bird baths. I'd follow window washers through the Empire State Building to catch their drippings. And I would purposely irritate little boys so they'd squirt their water pistols at me. Well, finally, after much waiting and hard labor, I had collected 4 precious inches of Aqua Pura in my bathtub.
And then you took your bath?
Oh, no, I rented it out. I'm not working, you know.
That's right. How come you're not on the radio anymore?
Well, you may have overheard gossip. You know, radio is highly competitive. And the program that used to be opposite me was a giveaway show. Now, I don't know how it happened, but on the last Sunday in June, they gave me away. No. Yes. I was Surprise number 7. I came between a plastic zipper and a year's supply of strong hot dog food.
Well, gee, Mr. Allen, if you're through with radio, then you must be out to make a picture.
No, I am not, my inquisitive little straight man. I am here. This is confidential, you know. I am here as a personal emissary of Mayor O'Dwyer to ask Jack Benny to come to our trouble city on March 15th.
Why did they want Benny there on March the 15th?
Because when Benny pays his income tax, his tears alone will fill every reservoir in
See, that reminds me, Mr. Allen, aren't you supposed to be on Jack Benny's program today?
And how I hate it.
Well, this is none of my business, but how much is Benny going to pay you?
Well, I don't know yet, but my lawyer filed suit against him 2 weeks ago.
Well, wait a minute. You ain't even been on his program yet, and you started suing him 2 weeks ago?
My friend, when you deal with Benny, it's always best to get a running start.
You mean he's really that cheap?
Cheap? Why, Benny is so tight that last summer when he was out on a dude ranch, he kept his money in a wildcat's mouth. And he was snide enough to find a wildcat with tonsillitis so it couldn't swallow. Well, I'd better get going. I have to go to that old man's rehearsal over there. Say, which network is he lousing up now?
Oh, he's at CBS. It's just 2 blocks from here.
Say, on second thought, you know, I think I'll let him stew a little while. Bring me another cup of coffee.
Gee, I can't understand what's keeping Fred.
Oh, Jack, take it easy. He'll be here any minute.
Well, when we go to court, I'm certainly going to bring up about him being late. Oh, Rochester, will you run out and see if you can find Mr. Allen? Maybe he's at Lyman's or at the Derby. Something.
Yes, sir. What? Wrong door.
See, that Allen is certainly a thoughtless guy. He's been doing things like this to me since the first day I met him.
Jack, I've been with you for so many years, and I never knew how you first met Fred Allen.
Oh, it happened in Boston a long time ago.
Well, tell me about it, Jack.
All right, Don. It was many, many years ago when vaudeville was at its height. I was a headliner at the Metropolitan Theater in Boston. One night after the supper show, I was sitting in my dressing room resting from my 7 encores. I was removing my makeup. Gosh, they were a wonderful audience tonight. They made me take 7 bows. This makeup is hard to get off. Uh-oh. Gee, a gray hair. Imagine me getting gray. This is the first year I'm 39. Well, I'll just... Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Mr. Benny, my name is Fred Allen.
Uh-huh.
I'm appearing here at the Metropolitan.
Well, that's funny. I don't remember any Fred Allen on this bill.
I'm in the opening act.
Oh, I thought the opening act was Fink's Mules.
I took my makeup off, Mr.
Oh, so you're with Fink's Mules?
Uh-huh. May I sit down?
Yes, but not too close. Now, what can I do for you, young man?
Well, Mr. Benny, I am a great admirer of yours, sir, and I want to be a smart, sophisticated comedian like you.
Oh, then you're a comedian?
Yes, I'm just mule delineating for the time being. I am really a juggler, but I want to give up juggling because you can't get any steady booking.
Oh, I don't know. Now, my brother worked for a bank, juggled their books, and got 20 years. You see, if you want to be a comedian, Alan, you better watch it. You see, you let that one get past you.
Oh, it didn't get past me, Mr. Benny. I've been around mules so long, I didn't notice it.
Well, Mr. Allen, if you're a juggler, I hardly think you have the experience to become a great comedian.
Oh, sir, I never hope to be as great as you are, sir. But I do think with a little perseverance and some polish, mark you, I might become another Maury Amsterdam.
Well, you should be able to get laughs, Alan. You're ugly enough.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Tell me, Mr. Benny, what do you think of this new entertainment medium that's just starting up, this thing called radio?
Well, I've been giving it a lot of thought. In fact, I already have an idea for a radio program.
You have?
Yes. On my program each week, I'll visit a place called Benny's Boulevard, where I'll start knocking on doors and ask topical questions of 4 people.
4 people?
Yes, a Southern senator, a rube who says howdy, bub, a Bronx housewife, and an Irishman.
Gosh, what a novel idea for radio. You know, that might even replace the street singer.
Yes, you'll have to excuse me now, Alan. I've got to get dressed for dinner.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Benny, and thank you so much, sir, for your help. I will always treasure the memory of this meeting the greatest comedian in the world, sir. I'm backing out, sir.
Thank you. And that, John, is how I first met Fred Allen, and why I dislike him so much.
Jack, you mean...
Yes, he stole my radio idea and called it Allen's Alley. Gee, I wonder if Rochester has found him yet.
Say, waiter, I'll have another cup.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Allen. I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, hello, Rochester. Say, I was just getting ready to go over to the studio.
Well, let's hurry, Mr. Bentley's awful upset. Come on, I'll show you the shortcut to CBS.
Sure. Say, you know, Rochester, I'm rather surprised to see that you're still Mr. Benny's valet. I thought you'd quit long ago.
Oh, it ain't such a bad job. I get my 3 meals a day, and I don't work too hard, and I have a nice place to sleep.
Well, I know, but what about money?
Pardon?
Money? What happens on payday?
He gives me a whip and a chair and tells me to get it from the Wildcat.
Yeah, after all these years, Rochester, you'd think Benny would change. But he's just as bad as when I first met him in Boston many years ago.
I never did hear about how you two first met. Would you tell me about it, Mr. Allen?
Well, are you really interested, are you?
Uh-huh.
Well, I shall be glad to tell you, Rochester.
Before you start, we'll take this shortcut. We'll go through the parking lot at NBC, which will lead us to the back door of CBS. That way we can...
Who was that?
Phil Harris. Now, Mr. Allen, tell me about how you first met Mr. Benny.
Well, Rochester, it happened many, many years ago. I was headlining at the Metropolitan Theater in Boston. And one evening after the supper show, I was sitting in my dressing room removing my makeup. Oh, Gad, what a show. I'm all tired out from blowing kisses to the audience. 11 encores before I finally begged off. Come in.
Mr. Allen?
Yes?
My name is Jack Benny.
Well, I'm glad you got here. It's the cold water faucet that's leaking.
No, I'm not the plumber. See, I'm appearing here on the vaudeville bill with you.
Jack Benny, Jack. Say, I didn't see your name on the program.
Oh, I'm in the opening act.
But the show opens with a Japanese flash act. Yamaguchi and Takamura. Gosh, they're wonderful. The way they lie on their backs and juggle that big barrel with their feet.
I know. And inside of that barrel, me.
No.
Oh, yes, Mr. Allen. While they're balancing that barrel and kicking it up in the air, I'm curled up inside with my violin, playing Ireland Must Be Heaven, because my mother came from there.
What an inspired touch. I can just hear that music coming out through the bunghole. Well, so much for flattery. Now, what can I do? What can I do for you, son?
Mr. Allen, sir, You've got to help me. I want to be a great comedian like you. I want to make a lot of money. A lot of money.
But, Benny, why knock yourself out to make a lot of money? You'll only spend it.
No, Mr. Allen. I save my money. Here, look.
Say, that's a peculiar-looking wallet you have there.
It's a baby wildcat. It has a strep throat. Anyway, Mr. Allen, I want to be a great comedian like you.
Well, if you're so anxious to earn big money, why don't you turn to radio?
Radio?
Yes, it's a gold mine. Say, I'm working on an idea for a program for myself. Now, my idea is this. I'll be the star, you see, and I'll have a valet, a very naive young boy singer, a girl to insult me, a drunken orchestra leader, and a fat announcer.
Gee, that sounds like a wonderful idea, Mr. Allen, and I hope you have a lot of luck with it. Goodbye.
And that's how I first met your boss, Rochester.
You mean?
Yes, Rochester. Mr. Benny stole my radio idea, crawled out of his barrel, said goodbye to Yamaguchi and Takamura, crawled out through the bunghole, became a big success on the air, sold himself to CBS for $2 million, while today I am a bum. How fickle fate can be.
Well, here's the studio, Mr. Allen. Let's go in.
No, Rochester. I can't go in.
What?
I can't do it, Rochester. I can't let Benny give me a job. I may be a derelict, down and out, but I've still got my pride.
But, Mr. Allen...
No, I'm sorry, Rochester. I just can't do it.
But, Mr. Allen, you haven't got any money. How are you going to live?
Don't worry about me. I'll get along. Maps! Get your maps to the movie star home. James Masons, Ronald Coleman, Mr. and Mrs. Gary Cooper, Mr. and Mrs. Robert Taylor. You can't tell me...
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first... There's never a rough puff in a Lucky because Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Yes, sold to American. That's a familiar cry at the auctions when fine tobacco comes up for sale. For at market after market, the buyers for Lucky Strike go after fine, light, naturally mild tobacco. Tobacco they know will give you a milder, smoother smoke with never a rough puff. Now, fine tobacco like this costs more, and Lucky's pay more. Millions of dollars more than official parity prices to get light, ripe tobacco for your cigarette.
No doubt about it. LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And it takes fine tobacco to make a fine cigarette. So for the real deep-down smoking enjoyment that only fine tobacco can give you, light up as a Lucky. Puff by puff, you'll see there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Good reason to make your next carton Lucky Strike.
Mary, that's the worst thing anybody ever did to me. I'll never forgive Fred for not showing up.
Oh, Jack, stop complaining. You had a good program without him.
I know, but how could he do a thing like that?
All right. Don't walk so fast. I can't keep up with you.
Okay.
Hey, mister, would you like to buy a map to the movie stars' homes?
Don't you talk to me. Stupid man. Come on, Mary.
Well, you might at least say hello to Portland. She's on the other corner.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Portland. How are they going?
Ladies and gentlemen, somewhere there's a boy who needs affection, advice, and guidance. But most of all, a boy needs a friend, a big brother. So why not you? Observe National Big Brother Week by volunteering your services now. Contact Big Brothers at Broad Street Station Building, Philadelphia 3, Pennsylvania. And be sure to hear Dennis Day and a Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned for the Amos and Andy Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Friends, for your own real deep-down enjoyment of smoking, it's important to know there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Every puff of the way, there's mildness, smoothness, and mellowness. For today, tomorrow, always, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Tobacco that's light and mellow, ripened to the peak of smoking perfection. Yes, at auction after auction, the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. So for your complete enjoyment of smoking, for more pleasure from every puff, every pack, light up a Lucky. You'll enjoy the rich taste of really fine tobacco. And you'll agree there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Next time you buy cigarettes, ask for a carton of Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of every Lucky Strike program, Jack and the cast go through a little ritual. So let's go back to last Sunday, immediately after the show, and watch what happens.
Okay, kids, okay, that's all. We're off the air. Close the curtain.
Gee, that was a great show, Jack.
Yes, Jack, I think that's one of the best programs you ever did.
Boy, you sure got a lot of laughs, Mr. Benny.
Jackson, you were sensational today. Thanks, fellas.
Okay, kids. 1, 2. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which no one can deny.
Oh, thanks. And, fellas, did you notice the way...
All right, Jack. We said you were great. We sang the song. Now give us our checks and let us go.
Okay. And, kids, I want to compliment you on the show today. Nobody made a mistake.
It's a good thing we didn't. Last week the quartet made a little mistake and you locked them in the closet and made them sing the commercial 500 times.
Well, at least...
Jack, come on, give us our check.
Okay, here's yours, Mary.
Thanks.
Don?
Thanks.
Dennis?
Thanks.
And Phil, I'm happy that this week I don't have to pay you in cash. I can give you a check like the others.
Yeah, it took me a long time, but I finally learned how to endorse them.
Who showed you how, Phil?
What?
Who showed you how?
Remley. He's great on checks. He can sign anybody's name.
But Phil, that's forgery.
Oh, Jackson.
Huh?
Forgery is such a hard word. We call it playful penmanship.
Oh, fine. Anyway, Phil, I hope you're saving your money.
I buy annuities with my paychecks.
Well, that's very smart of you, Dennis.
I know. With those annuities, I can retire on an income of $1,000 a month.
No kidding.
Yeah, they start paying off when I'm 120.
120? Oh, that's good, Dennis. The money will come in just when you need it.
Yeah, I'll probably only have one show then.
Well, of all the... So, Denny, that's ridiculous. Nobody lives to be 120.
Hey, Jackson.
Huh?
Throw me that lead again. I got an answer that'll make CBS buy me.
Phil, forget it. As long as Rexall pays you in bromo seltzer, you're happy. Believe me.
Yeah, I wish I could go home now.
What?
I wish I could go home.
Well, why can't you, Dennis?
My parents did it again.
Did what?
Moved away without telling me.
Oh, well, you'll find them. You always do.
Jack.
What?
I think I'll be running along, too.
Oh, Mary, I wanted to ask you, if you have nothing to do tomorrow night, would you like to come over to my house and watch some television?
Oh, I'd love to, Jack, but that's the night that all the girls I used to work with hold their annual reunion.
Oh, yes, you have that reunion every year. What is that you girls call yourselves?
The Merry Maids of the May Company.
Well, I hope you enjoy yourself.
Oh, I always do have a good time there. And I'll get to see my old girlfriend, Ruby Wagner, again. Gosh, how I envy her.
Why? What's she doing now?
She's still at the May Company.
Look, Mary, if you'd rather be back at the May Company, then you
Oh,
could...
Jack, I didn't mean that. I meant that I envy Ruby because one day a customer came over to her counter, they fell in love, got married, and now they have 12 children.
She married a customer and has 12 children?
Just think. He came in to spend 89 cents, and look what he got.
Yeah, well, Mary, everyone is gone. Come on, let's go out of the studio. They're putting out the lights now. You know, it's really an amazing story about your girlfriend, Ruby. It doesn't seem possible that... Uh-oh.
What's the matter, Jack?
I forgot something. Wait here, Mary. I'll be right back. Yeah, I wish they weren't so quick about turning off these lights. Now, let's see. Which door is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, fellas, you can come out of the closet now. Fellas, you've been punished enough for what you've done. Boys, you've sung it more than 500... Oh, my my goodness, must have affected their minds. I'm going. Holy smoke, they're following me. Fellas, stop following me. It's embarrassing. Wait a minute, fellas. Cut it out, will you? Wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, fellas. Wait a minute! Now, boy, don't follow me anymore. Go on home. Your wives haven't seen you for a week. I'd fire those guys, but I'd only have to get them another job. I'm their agent. And they're such good clients. They think because they're a quartet, they have to pay me 40%. Come on, Mary.
What'd you forget, Jack?
Oh, it was nothing. Come on. Well, there's Rochester waiting in my car. Mary, I'll drive you home.
Oh, Jack, I don't want to go home yet. I'd like to have dinner in town.
You would?
Yeah, I'm in the mood for a nice big steak.
Smothered with mushrooms and fresh fried onions?
Yeah.
How about the brown derby?
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, I'll drop you off. Now, come on, let's... Oh, gee, I forgot my umbrella and it started to rain.
It isn't raining. I spit in your eye.
Mary,
goodbye, Jack. I'll see you later.
But, Mary, you don't have... I guess she's so hungry she couldn't wait.
Ready for me to drive you home, boy?
Yes, Rochester. What are you sitting there holding that whisk broom for?
As soon as you get in the car, I'll brush you off.
Brush me off?
Yeah, the doors are stuck. You'll have to crawl from underneath.
That's ridiculous. If the doors are stuck, I'll just climb over. I got one leg over. Gee, these doors are higher than I thought. Now to get the other.
Are you in, boss?
Yeah. Gee, these seats are cold. Start the car, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
I'm sick and tired of this. You know, Rochester, I got a good mind to complain to the Cadillac Company.
The Cadillac Company?
Yes.
Boss, we only got one of the hubcaps from them.
Oh, yes.
And we picked that up at the scene of an accident.
Rochester, I didn't steal that hubcap.
No, but I'll never forget how you did it with that man in the ambulance.
All right. Now try that motor again.
Yes, sir.
This is all... Rochester, where did we get this motor?
Broadway at 9th.
Eastern Columbia?
No, Broadway at 9th. It was laying in the street.
What?
Same accident.
Oh, yes. Rochester, try and get this car started, will you? Thank heaven. Now, Rochester, for a change, go out Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is one of the first nights this week that the weather has been so mild. What was that?
Sounded like a police whistle.
Rochester, you see that? Two men just ran out of that bank. They jumped in that big black sedan and they're speeding away.
Yeah.
Wow. They must be going 80 miles an hour. And look at that policeman. He's running towards us. What is it, officer? Quick, follow that car. What? Follow that car.
Oh, officer, calm down.
Look, I'm an officer of the law. When I jump on your running board and say follow that car, I want you to do it.
Well, then get your other foot off the ground. You're holding us back.
Stop wasting time and do as I...
Cop?
Cop? Who said that?
I did. We're making a picture here on Hollywood Boulevard.
A picture? Oh, for heaven's sake. What's the name of it?
The Whistle Blows at Midnight.
Rochester, let's get out of here. I don't want to be even an extra in this one. Let's step on it. I want to get home and have dinner.
Well, that was a very good dinner, Rochester.
Thanks, boss. Say, Mr. Benny, while you were having dinner, a messenger brought this to the door.
What is it?
Here you are.
Oh, yes, this is a record that Dennis made of that new song, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, from Walt Disney's picture, Cinderella. He wanted me to hear it. I'm going in the den, Rochester, and play it.
Shall I break a toothpick in half?
No, I bought some needles. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. See, that song I don't understand at all. At least Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo makes sense. I bet Dennis made a good record of it.
How I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Whoops! Wrong side. Oh, here it is. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
If your mind is in a dither and your heart is in a haze, I'll haze your dither and dither your haze with a magic phrase. If you're chased around by trouble and you're followed by a jinx, I'll jinx your trouble and trouble your jinx in less than 40 winks. Salagadoola, minchikaboola, bibbidi bobbidi boo. Put 'em together and what have you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Salagadoola, minchikaboola, bibbidi bobbidi boo. It'll do magic, believe it or not, bibbidi bobbidi boo. Salagadoola means minchikaboola-roo, but the thingamabob that does the job is bibbidi bobbidi boo. Salagadoola, minchikaboola, bibbidi bobbidi boo. Put 'em together and what have you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Now salagadoola means minchikaboola-roo, but the thingamabob that does the job is bibbidi bobbidi boo. Salagadoola, minchikaboola, bibbidi bobbidi boo. Put 'em together and what have you got? Oh, bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Hey, Dennis did that very well. Did you hear it, Rochester?
Yes, sir. Are you going to bed now, boss?
No, I think I'll stay up a while and read a book.
Okay.
Now, let's see. I finished Cleveland Amory's new book, Hometown. Very good, too. Here's one. My 10 Years in Washington by Dreer Poulsen. Well, I'll be darned, there is a Dreer Poulsen. Gee, I hope Don doesn't find out. Say, here's a good mystery. I Was Betrayed by Maximilian Q. Langley, author of I Was Framed, I Was Deceived, I Was Double-Crossed, and I Was Loused Up. Gee, certainly gets some great titles. I think I'll read this one. I'll sit in that chair by the window. Ah. Whoop. This seat is cold, too. Yeah, this story ought to be pretty good. I Was Betrayed.
As the pale rays of the dying moon filtered through the bars of my prison cell, I was told that my last appeal had been denied. And I, Meredith Sneisenholder, was betrayed. It's hard to believe that I was once a very successful doctor. I could boast of a fine practice, a brilliant assistant, a beautiful wife who adored me, and 2 lovely children, Hogan and Sneak. I was proud to be their par. But I'm getting ahead of my story. It all started in my operating room. I was preparing a patient for an operation, and my assistant, Dr. Dennis Daseldorf, was helping me. As I was about to start the operation, the patient looked at me and nervously asked,
Dr. Sneisenholder, are you sure this operation won't hurt?
Hurt? Why, no. No, not at all.
Well,
Oh, I'm so sensitive.
Oh, you. It might a little. Dr. Daveldorf.
Jawohl, Dr. Schneisenholder.
Doctor, hand me the scalpel.
The scalpel? What's that?
The scalpel. It's a knife with a long curved blade.
Oh, that's in the kitchen there. I made myself a sandwich and used it to slice the salami.
Well, wash it off and bring it in.
Yes, sir, Doctor. Here you are, Dr. Schneisenholder.
What's that?
You told me to wash it off and bring it in.
The scalpel, not the salami.
Stupid doctor.
Hand me my rubber gloves.
My goodness, Dr. Schneisenholder, you're awfully nervous today.
Well, why shouldn't I be? I'm about to perform a very delicate operation that's never been attempted before. All medical science is awaiting the result. And this patient has volunteered.
Oh, doctor, what are you going to do?
I'm going to separate his vividity from his bobbity. What do you think of that?
Ooh.
Wonderful. We'll call this operation Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Let's turn him over and see what's on the other side.
Good.
The patient died. But the operation made the hit parade. After this incident, I decided I needed more help in the office. So I put an ad in the paper for a nurse. The next day, there were 5 applicants for the job. I turned down the first 4, but the 5th had trim ankles and lovely slim legs. I stared at her for 5 minutes. Then when I looked up, I saw that she was pretty, too. Her name was Ginger Lamar, and her voice was soft and sultry.
Well, Doc, we'll talk as soon as you get through looking.
Oh, pardon me. I was just thinking about something. Tell me, Miss Lamar. Do you have any experience?
Come here, Doc. Closer. Now put your arms around me and kiss me. Do I get the job, Doc?
Well, I wanted a nurse, but you'll do. When can you come to work?
I've already started.
From the moment I met Ginger, my life had more snap to it. Even though I was a great surgeon, I couldn't cut that one out of the script. There were so many things about Ginger that I learned to appreciate. The way her dimples showed when she smiled, her cute walk, her gay laughter, and the way she clenched her little fist when she slugged the rats in my sterilizer. As the hours passed, I found myself falling deeper and deeper in love with Ginger, until at the end of the first day I was hopelessly gone. That night, I took her home.
Well, baby, this is where I live. We can stand here in the hall and talk.
Ginger, darling, at last we're alone. At last I can tell
Who's
you.
that down there?
It's me, Ma, Ginger.
Did you bring the sterno?
Yeah, I got it in my purse.
Well, get it up here quick. I want to put the meat on. The old man's hungry.
In a couple of minutes, Ma.
Darling, I want to tell you how
You
much...
like your old lady? Get up here with that sterno. Lower your voice, you lazy bum. Ginger's boyfriend will think we're a couple of crumbs. Stop yelling at me. You're blowing the foam off of my beer.
That was Mother and Dad.
They sound like real folks. Oh, Ginger, if we could only get married, I could do so much for your parents. Take out their appendix or their tonsils or something.
That's the trouble, Snizer. You're already married.
Yeah.
And what about your 2 lovely children, Kramer and Gonzalez?
That's Hogan and Sneed. Ginger, what do you want me to do?
Well, if you want me, Snizer, you're going to have to ask your wife for a divorce.
A divorce?
How could I ask Cindy Lou for a divorce? Cindy Lou, the girl who was responsible for my success. The girl who made me go to college and study anatomy, biology, surgery, and canasta. I won $46 from her on our honeymoon. But it was no use. I was in love with Ginger, and Cindy would have to understand. That night, as we sat at the dinner table eating, I said,
Cindy Lou, I know this will be a blow to you. But rather than make you unhappy, I'd cut off my arm.
When she handed me a knife, I knew she was going to be difficult.
Cindy, I'm trying to tell you I'm in love with another woman. I'm asking you for a divorce.
Well, darling, if you want a divorce, you can have one. I don't want to stand in the way of your happiness.
Now, don't go to pieces, Cindy. Try to understand.
But I do understand, darling, and I'll explain it to our two children, DiMaggio and Greenberg.
That's Hogan and Sneed. Now, Cindy, are you going to give me a divorce or not?
I told you, yes.
Please, Cindy, let's not argue. Be reasonable.
I felt like a heel for what I had done to my wife. But I hurried back to see Ginger. She was at the office waiting for me. Instead of a nurse's uniform, she was wearing a French bathing suit. It wasn't conventional, but I did more business than South Pacific. I took one fellow's appendix out 8 times. I knew he'd be back, so I put a swinging door on his right side. However, I couldn't stand the strain. I wanted desperately to be alone with Ginger so we could talk. I tried to get rid of my assistant, Dr. Dazeldorf.
Oh, Dr. Dazeldorf.
Yeah? Did you want me?
Darn it, I missed him.
It's all right, Snizer. I told him all about us.
Oh. Then, Dr. Dazeldorf, you know that I'm going to leave my wife.
Oh, yeah. But what about your two lovely children, Taft and Hartley?
That's Hogan and Sneed. Ginger, I can hardly wait for the day when I can call you mine. And we'll be together, always.
Have you told your wife?
I tried to, but she took it so hard I couldn't go through with it. I'll try again tonight.
I dreaded going home and breaking the news to Cindy. But it had to be done, and now. I hurried out to the street, ran to the curb, jumped down into my new Hudson, and drove home. When I got home, I jumped up out of my new Hudson and went into the house. Cindy was sitting in the living room. I could tell she was lonely because she had blown up my rubber glove and was shaking hands with her. I walked in and said,
Cindy, I'm back.
Huh? Oh, there you are.
Yes, and stop pointing my finger at me. Cindy, this can't go on any longer. I'm in love with another woman, and I want my freedom.
For goodness sake, I told you last night you could have it.
I can?
Yes, and you can have the two children, Citation and Coal Town.
That's Hogan and Sneed. Why can't you remember?
It was a relief to know that Cindy would give me a divorce. I wanted to tell Ginger the good news. I rushed out to the street, ran to the curb, jumped down into my new Hudson, and almost broke my neck. Someone had stolen it. As I ran all the way back to the office, avoiding Hollywood Boulevard, where they were making a picture. As I reached the door, I heard voices. I stopped and listened.
Oh, sweetheart, kiss me again, and again, and again.
3 more kisses? Ach, du lieber, put me down already.
I couldn't believe my ears. The girl for whom I gave up Cindy, Hogan, and Sneed was a cheat. And Dr. Dazeldorf, my trusted assistant, had double-crossed me. I opened the door and walked in.
Aha! Look, the doctor's back and he's got a gun.
Ozzy, don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Yes, I killed them both. If only my sons could have been here to see me. I had made a hole in one. As I looked at Ginger lying there with a big bullet hole between her eyes, I wondered how I had ever thought her attractive. And then I realized I could never love anyone but Cindy Lou. I rushed home to throw myself at her feet and beg her forgiveness. When I reached my house, Cindy Lou was surprised to see me.
Hello, Cindy. I've come home. Home to stay.
Oh, it's you, Meredith. I didn't expect you so soon.
Cindy, why are you acting so nervous? So strange.
Me strange? Oh, I'm not nervous.
Cindy, you're hiding something from me. Is there another man?
No, nobody.
Then why are you standing in front of that closet door? I'm going to...
No, Meredith, please.
Get away, I said. I'm going to open that door.
I opened the door, and my suspicion was confirmed. I broke out in a cold sweat. A blinding rage swept over me. I saw red.
And you just don't look right.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Skelton, get out of here. Your show's not on till 8:30.
Yeah, 9 o'clock on the Pacific Coast.
What?
And not only that, I'm making a picture on Hollywood Boulevard with Hogan and Sneed. Get out of here. Get out. Get out or I'll take this gun. I'll take this gun. I'll take it. Bob, wake up.
Huh? Rochester.
You fell asleep while you were reading that book.
Oh. Gee, I had the craziest dream. What were you doing?
I had the radio on listening to Red Skelton.
Oh, well, that explains it. Good night, Rochester. I'm going to bed.
Just a moment, but first...
Lucky's are smoother. Lucky's are milder. Try them, and you'll see there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Just the real deep-down smoking enjoyment, the mellow smoothness that only Lucky's fine tobacco can give you. Yes, it takes fine tobacco to make a fine cigarette. And LS-MFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Tobacco that's ripe and light, that smokes smooth and mild. For at market after market, the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy this kind of tobacco for your cigarette.
Just listen for a moment to what an expert says about the tobacco he's seen Lucky Strike buy. Mr. Ed Rogers, an independent tobacco auctioneer from Reidsville, North Carolina, recently said,
Wherever I've auctioned, I've seen Lucky Strike buy ripe, smooth tobacco that shows the sunshine, the kind that's hard to beat for smoking quality. I've smoked Lucky's for 12 years.
So take a tip from an expert, and for your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, light up a Lucky. Every puff of the way, you'll see there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Next time, ask for a carton of Lucky Strike.
Thanks, Red. Good night, everybody.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and A Day in the Life of Dr. Daseldorf. Stay tuned for Amos Manny, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Jack Benny Program, transcribed, presented by Lucky Strike.
Light up a Lucky Strike, friends, and enjoy the smoother, milder smoking that only Lucky's fine tobacco can give you. From first puff to last, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. For you see, LS-MFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. That's why at market after market, the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that guarantees more real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. Puff after puff with never a rough puff.
And remember that the tobacco experts, men born and bred in the business, choose Lucky's for their own personal smoking enjoyment. Yes, a recent survey shows more of these experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen, smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next two leading brands combined.
So take a tip from the experts and smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. Every puff of the way, you'll get more real deep-down smoking enjoyment with never a rough puff. Yes, you'll enjoy a smoother, milder, truly finer cigarette. Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and and gentlemen, in a few hours, Jack Benny and his entire troupe leave for New York to start off the campaign for the National Heart Fund. So now, let's go out to Jack Benny's house in Beverly Hills.
Well, Rochester, it won't be long before we're all packed and on our way to New York.
Yeah, that lovely suburb of Harlem.
Hey, Roch, did you cancel the newspaper and leave a note for the milkman?
I haven't had time, boss. I've been answering the phone all morning.
The phone?
Uh-huh. Luella Parsons, George Fisher, Sheila Graham, Henna Harper, they all called.
You know, Rochester, when you're a big star like I am, you can't make a move without the columnists knowing about it.
I don't know, boss. They sure were surprised when I told them you were leaving for New York.
Surprised? Why?
They didn't know you were back from Europe.
Well, that I can't understand at all. Rochester, if those columnists didn't know I was back from Europe, why did they call the house?
To verify a rumor.
What rumor?
They heard you were switching to CBS.
What?
But yesterday, Erskine Johnson scooped them all.
He did?
Yeah, he found out you were the walking man.
Look at Rochester. That was 3 years ago.
Well, you know how it is, boss. When you're a big star, you can't make a move without everybody knowing about it.
I guess so. Well, Rochester, have you got all my things packed?
Uh-huh. You know, boss, it's great to be a radio star. You get to travel a lot and see so many different places.
Well, I do get around a lot, but nobody travels as much as Bob Hope. He's the only man I know who keeps a change of underwear in his wallet. He has to unzip and then unbutton to get to a $1 bill. Not only that...
Boss, you haven't got time for a routine.
That's right. Now, Rochester, don't forget to write a note to the milkman telling him we'll be gone for a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. By the way, the man from the pet shop called about the parrot. He said the lowest he can keep her for is 75 cents a day. Shall I take Polly over to him?
No. I already took Polly to another place. She'll be well fed and cared for.
Good.
Now, put this in the desk and be sure it doesn't get lost. When we get home, we'll need it to get Polly back.
Boss, a pawn ticket.
She'll be fed and well cared for. That's the law. And Rochester, put this $2 in the same envelope with the pawn ticket.
$2? Is that all the pawnbroker gave it for Polly?
I would have got more if she kept her mouth shut. Stupid parrot. Now, Rochester, write that note to the... I'll get it. Hello?
Hiya, Jackson. You all set to bounce down at the station to make for that choo-choo to the big town. This is Phil.
Oh, I'm so glad you told me. You know, when I picked up the phone and a voice said, "Hiya, Jackson, are you all set to bounce down to the station and make with the choo-choo to the big town?" I was sure it was Anthony Eden. Phil, are you packed?
Yes, sir. I'm taking 3 trunks, 4 handbags, and 5 valises, and they're all full.
How come you're taking so many clothes?
Clothes? Holy smoke, I knew I forgot something.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Phil, you're the only guy I know whose luggage has labels inside and out. Why take all that liquor to New York?
They're short of water. Gotta have something to bathe in.
Well, Phil, if you're going to bathe in it, I wish you'd take champagne. I can't think of anything more exciting than Phil Harris sitting in a bathtub surrounded by millions of dancing bubbles. Yeah, what an idea for a calendar.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, I haven't got much time. What'd you call for?
I want to ask you, Jackson, is it all right if I take Sammy, my drummer, along?
Sammy, your drummer? Well, what do you want to take him to New York for?
Well, he's been corresponding with a girl there, and he'd like to get married.
Oh, childhood sweetheart?
No, they met through a Lonely Hearts Club.
Oh.
He sent her a picture of Clark Gable, she sent him a picture of Lady Ashley, and it was love at first sight.
Gee, that's sweet. But, Phil, when they meet each other, won't they be disappointed?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know what the girl looks like, but Sammy, your drummer, certainly doesn't look like Clark Gable.
Oh, I don't know, Jackson. Paint a little hair on his head, put a mustache on him, and you can't tell the difference.
You mean between him and Gable?
No, between him and the girl.
Well, that's what I thought. Well, Phil, if Sammy wants to go to New York to get married, you can take him with you.
Bless you, Cupid.
All right. Now, when you get on the train, see that all of your...
Wait a minute, Jackson, wait a minute. Hey, can't you hear the buzzer? Go out to the door. Now, what were you saying, Jackson?
Phil, who are you talking to?
Alice. Now, what were you talking about?
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Phil, does Alice let you talk to her like that?
Jackson, as long as I talk to her, she's happy.
Well, now I've heard everything.
So long, Jackson.
Goodbye, beautiful. Well, there's the biggest ham I've ever known in my life. If he was half as good as he thinks he is, he'd be twice as good as he is. Now, Rochester, what kind of a joke was that I just said? I've got one lousy joke, and that's no good. Now, Rochester, we better start with...
Hey, boss, while you're on the phone, Mr. Wilson and the Sportsman Quartet came in.
Oh, hello, Don.
Hello, Jack.
Hiya, boys. Say, Don, are you all packed and ready to go?
I sure am.
Well, it won't be long before we... Don, what have you got under your coat?
Oh, it's nothing, Jack.
But, Don, I see a little bulge around your waist. Now, open your coat.
Well, all right.
Well, what do you know? A trunk. I remember their ad. Oshkosh luggage, curved to fit your stomach. Don, how come you stopped by here? If you got any spare time, you should be working on a commercial for New York.
Well, that's why we dropped in, Jack. We've got a terrific idea for a commercial.
For New York?
Yeah, get this. Take it, boys.
N is for the neon lights on Broadway. E is for the elevated train.
And how they roar.
W fellas.
They ain't got there.
Ain't got there?
Y is for the why. It doesn't rain.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute, fellas, hold it. Who wrote that? Nick Kenny? For heaven's sake, Don, that isn't what I had in mind at all. After all, we're going to New York, a hustling, bustling city. Let's have something fast and peppy.
Well, what would you suggest, Jack?
There's so many things to sing about in New York. Broadway, Times Square, 42nd Street.
42nd Street? Well, we've got one on that. Okay, boys, take it.
Hear the beat of dancing feet. It's a song we love, the melody of 42nd Street. Come with us, our friends will greet. On the avenue, we're taking you to 42nd Street. They smoke Lucky's, good old Lucky's, we mean Lucky Strike. Pat and Joe and Nat and Mo say that's the one they like. Sure enough, there's no rough puff. Now rough puff, 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 may repeat on 42nd Street. They smoke Lucky's, good old Lucky's, LSMFT. Need we say more? Lucky's pay more? Yes. Lucky's pay millions of dollars more than official parity prices to get right tobacco for your cigarette. Oh, come with us, our friends to be. On the avenue, we're taking you to 42nd Street.
Wonderful, Don. That's exactly what I want. Now, that'll be just fine.
All right, Jack. See you on the train. Come on, fellas.
Don, you dropped your trunk.
Oh, yes.
Gee, it is curved.
Well, so long, Jack.
So long, Don. Now, Rochester, send for a cab. I'm going to pick Miss Livingston up on the way to the station. I know Phil is packed and Don is, but Dennis, I always have to worry about that kid. I wonder if he's finished packing yet.
Mother, will you come in here, please?
In a minute. Oh, just think. My son is preparing to go to New York. In a short time, he'll be 3,000 miles away from me. I don't want him to know how I feel. I better wipe this smile off of my face. Mother! Coming? Now, Dennis, when you get on the train, the first thing you... Dennis, why are you lying up there on the mantelpiece?
I'm practicing how to sleep in an upper berth.
Upper berth?
Oh, Mother, if it's good enough for Mr. Benny, it's good enough for me.
Mr. Benny sleeps in an upper berth?
The same one.
No!
Yeah, the last time I shared one with him, I couldn't get any sleep at all. All night long it was talk, 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 talk.
Mr. Benny?
No, it was Paris.
His Paris? No wonder you were annoyed with all that talk.
In Kansas City, I woke up with an egg in my hair.
What a man. Imagine you and Mr. Benny and a parrot in an upper berth.
Oh, it was worse when he had his polar bear.
Oh, Dennis. If Colgate would only start paying you, you could quit that gray-headed old schnook.
No, Mother, I'd never quit Mr. Benny. He made me what I am today.
Dennis, let me ask you something. What are you today?
I'm a very popular tenor. That's what I am.
Well, if you're so popular, why are they making Phil Regan minister to Ireland?
Because his mother came from there.
What? Now, Dennis, do you know what song you're going to sing for the New York show?
Yeah, and I'll rehearse it tonight on the train when I'm in the upper berth.
How can you rehearse in an upper berth?
The orchestra's in the lower.
Oh, well, I want to hear the song now, so sing it.
Okay, Mom.
Dennis, and when you're in New York, don't forget...
Oh, I'll get it, Mother. Hello?
Oh, hello, Dennis. Are you all packed and ready to leave?
Yes, Mr. Benny.
Good. I'll see you on the train. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Benny,
What?
if you bring the parrot, cut her nails. They scratch.
Look, I'm not bringing the parrot.
Then cut yours.
I will. Goodbye. Rochester.
Boss, the cab is waiting out front.
Oh, well then, Rochester, you take care of the luggage. I'm going to take the cab and pick up Miss Livingston. Well, Mary, we're almost to the station. In no time at all, we'll be New York bound.
Yeah. Say, Jack, I'm going to live at the Sherry Netherlands. Where are you going to stay in New York?
The usual place, the Acme Plaza Hotel.
Oh, Jack, not that awful joint.
Oh, it isn't so bad, Mary, now that they've put in a heating system.
Some heating system. You step into the lobby and the clerk hits you in the face with a hot towel.
Mary, that towel comes from the Waldorf Astoria, and that's class. Sister. Say, Mary, when we get to New York, are you going over to visit your folks?
Oh, I sure am. As a matter of fact, I received a letter from them this morning.
Your mother and father? Well, what do the Ichabod and Mr. Toad of Plainfield have to say?
I've got the letter right here in my purse.
You got a cold, too.
Here it is.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. My darling daughter, Mary, I would like to make this letter a lot more personal, but your father's leaning over my shoulder. I would tell him to go away, but this is a cold night, and it feels good when he breathes down the back of my neck.
Why did you try a hot towel? From the Waldorf Astoria.
Too bad I didn't think about writing this letter New Year's Eve. On that night, your father's breath could have kept me warm and given me a Tony at the same time.
You sound a little like Andy Devine. I just want to show George I'm working good tonight.
Mary, dear, isn't it a shame that you're coming east on the same day your Uncle Lou has to leave on a trip? If your trains pass and you wave at him and two hands wave back, one belongs to the deputy sheriff.
Oh, in again, huh?
This time, your Uncle Lou was innocent.
Oh, sure.
It seems that last Tuesday at midnight, he broke into the First National Bank.
She's innocent.
As he stood there in front of the vault with a blowtorch in one hand and a bottle of nitroglycerin in the other, two policemen grabbed him. They wouldn't believe he was making a deposit.
Oh, that's a tough break for the kid.
When they brought him to court, your uncle pleaded his own case and was acquitted of the charges.
Oh.
However, they gave him 10 years because during the trial he had his car parked in front of a fire hydrant.
If he'd have gone on a bicycle, he'd be a free man today.
But, Mary, I want you to know that when your uncle arrives in Alcatraz, he won't be an ordinary prisoner. They've given him an unlisted number.
So much for Uncle Louie.
So much for... Jack, stop reading over my shoulder.
Oh, I thought I saw something about your sister Babe.
Oh, yes, here it is. I'll read it to you. Mary, here's the most exciting news of all. Your sister Babe is going to get married to some drummer named Sammy.
No.
I don't know how Babe met him, but she insists on me calling her Lady Ashley.
Well, I'll be darned. Is that all, Mary?
Yes.
Well, we'll be at the station pretty soon.
Jack, how much does it... Oh, never mind.
What is it, Mary?
No, never mind.
You were going to ask me something. What is it?
Well, how much does it cost to ride in a taxi from Beverly Hills to the Union Station?
Now, isn't that funny? I was curious, too, so I checked with the company, and it costs $1.85.
$1.85?
Yes, they even itemized it for me. See, in order to operate a cab over that distance, they figure it this way. Gas, 32 cents. Oil, 6 cents. Wear and tear on tires, 9 cents. General repairs, 12 cents. Insurance, 29 cents. Leaving a total of 97 cents which goes to the man behind the wheel.
I wondered why you were driving.
Hey, cabby, how do you like the way I... Isn't that cute, Mary? He's fast asleep on the back seat. Cabby, wake up. We'll soon be at the Union Station. Well, Mary, here we are at the main entrance. First thing I'll do is check my bag, and then I'll...
Jack, what'd you stop for?
Mary, as much as I like to travel, I just hate to walk into this station. Everybody who works in there drives me crazy. That train announcer, the man behind the magazine counter, the ticket agent. Everybody.
Well, Jack, nobody else seems to have any trouble. It could be your fault.
How can it be my fault? I never do anything but ask them straight questions.
Well, let's go in and get it over with.
All right.
Well, go on, Jack. Go validate the ticket.
Okay. Don't push me. Well, here's the ticket window. Oh, Mister.
May I help you, sir?
Now, wait a minute. All I said... Huh?
I said, may I help you, sir?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to have you validate my ticket.
Why, certainly. There you are, sir, and may you have a very pleasant trip.
Thank you. By the way, where's the other fellow who used to validate the ticket here?
Oh, Mr. Nelson, he isn't here anymore.
You see, Mary, he's not here anymore, so it wasn't my fault at all.
I guess not, Jack.
Attention, please. The Super Chief for Albuquerque, Kansas City, Chicago, and New York, now loading on track 7.
Hey, that train announcer wasn't silly at all, was he?
Something wrong, sir?
No. I was just thinking, that train announcer, he's new, isn't he?
Yes, he is. The other fellow isn't here anymore.
Well, good. You know, Mary, this is the first time I've ever enjoyed going through this Union Station.
Attention, please. The Super Chief now departing. All aboard.
We better hurry, Jack. That's our train.
Right behind you, Mary. Well, Mary, we're on our way to New York. Rochester's on the train, and I hope the whole...
Hiya, Jackson.
Oh, hello, Phil.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, Dennis. You see Don?
Here I am.
Well, we're all on.
And, Jackson, I want to thank you for letting me take Sammy along. He's on the train, too.
Good.
You know, Jack, this is the first time we've ever started on a trip with you being so happy.
Well, why shouldn't I be? For once, I got on the train without running into a lot of crazy people. I got a nice compartment here, too.
Hey, look, we're pulling into Pasadena.
That's right, kid. We stopped here for 10 minutes.
Hey, Jackson, how about a game of gin?
Okay, Phil, get out the cards.
Jack, while we're stopping here, I'm going to step off and get a magazine.
Mary, you stay here. I'll get one for you. Phil, deal the cards. I'll be back in a minute. Yada-dee-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Gee, they got a nice station here in Pasadena. Let's see, where's the entrance? Oh, here it is. Let me see. Where's the magazine counter? Oh, there it is, over there. Yada-dee-da-dum, da-dee-da-dum, da-dee-dum, dee-da-da-dum. Oh, Mister. Oh, no.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim. Coming down.
Not him, too.
Look, Blue Eyes, you want a magazine or don't you?
Well, certainly. That's why I got...
Leaving on track 3 for all points south and Tennessee. Well, shut my mouth, the Magnolia Tree.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Now calm down and tell me which magazine you want.
I'll take this one right here, Coronet.
Put on your glasses. That's a phone book.
A phone book?
If a man answers, hang up.
Look, if you don't stop being so crazy, I'll report you.
Crazy? Me?
If you're not, why have you got that flower stuck in your ear?
Oh, is that still there?
What?
I was afloat in the Rose Parade.
Look, mister, I don't understand you at all. Do you enjoy aggravating me?
Ooh, do I?
Well, I've had enough. Give me a magazine, any magazine. My train leaves in 5 minutes.
Good. I couldn't stand you any longer.
Oh, nuts.
Train now leaving on track 8 through Illinois to New York State. South Pacific and Kiss Me Kate.
Sammy, get back on the train. That's what I better do, too.
Hey, Jackson, you better hurry up. We're pulling out of here, son.
Coming. If I didn't have so much trouble here, I'd have been there.
Hey, Bud. Bud.
Uh-huh.
Come here a minute.
Look, I'm in a hurry.
Where you going?
New York.
What train are you taking?
The Super Chief. What?
Take the El Capitan.
But I got my tickets on the Super Chief.
The El Capitan will beat it into Kansas City by 3 lengths.
The El Capitan?
Get a load of that position. It's on the rail.
What?
And look at the breeding. It's by Santa Fe out of Los Angeles.
Gee, maybe I could.
Jack, you better hurry.
Okay, Mary. I'm sorry, mister, but I'm not taking the El Capitan. I'm going to stay on the Super Chief.
Well, okay, if you want to take a chance on a sleeper.
You're darn right I do. Coming, Rochester, coming.
Jack, hurry. Faster.
Don't worry, Mary, I'll make it. There, I'm on.
Oh, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah.
He's on the train.
So he is. Are you all packed?
Uh-huh.
Well, then let's hurry and get to the airport. Ooh, will he be surprised when we greet him in New York?
Oh, really?
We'll be back in just a moment, but first...
LSMFT. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Ripe, light tobacco that guarantees there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. For you see, at market after market, the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy light, mellow leaf that gives you a smoother, milder, altogether finer cigarette every puff of the way.
No doubt about it, friends. Lucky's give you more. More smoothness and mildness. More real, deep-down smoking enjoyment. So light up a Lucky and enjoy the mellow taste of truly fine tobacco. From first puff to last, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky. Good reason to make your next carton Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week our program will originate in New York City, where we open the American Heart Association campaign. Good night, all.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and a day in the life of Dennis Day.